Good morning, everybody. Brock and Salk Show, Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com, Seattle Sports app, podcast platforms, 97.3 HD2, of course, YouTube. You watch on YouTube, right? If you do, and you're watching on YouTube today and my nose just starts spontaneously bleeding, please let me know. I'm still recovering just from being in Colorado. My God. Maura, I just, at any point, it was in the shower this morning, I'm just like dripping blood out of my nose. It's awful.
Yikes.
Yeah, I know. Well, so let me know. If you see, blood, let me know.
You also have, it looks like maybe there's some drapery behind you that's fallen and the lighting on you is extra bright this morning.
Oh, good. That's great. I'm like angelic. La. Here I am this morning. All right. Extra bright. Sounds good. Well, I'll do the best I can. Get a little hot under these lights maybe, but we got a story this morning that in the now 17 years that Brock and I have done this show together, we've never talked about. We've never had this conversation. Not one time. We've never talked about one of our local teams being sold. At least not in any great detail. Now, the Mariners' ownership evolved, right? John Stanton was already a part of the ownership group. It was owned by Nintendo, and then the ownership, changed but it was all internal, right? So it wasn't a big, long process with bidders from the outside. That just didn't really happen. So that wasn't really a story then. And obviously the Kraken showed up, and that was, competing bids, but it was not to buy a new franchise with a seller and all of that, or to buy an existing franchise. It was to buy a new one. So that was sort of new, but not similar to what's now going to happen here with the Seahawks, as they are going to be just sold to the highest bidder. So I did a bunch of talking to people yesterday and trying to understand what all of this means and trying to answer a couple of questions and try to figure out who the potential owners could be who would want to try to purchase this team. And here's a couple of things I found out yesterday, and we'll go through this at 7 o'clock again as well, and probably throughout the morning, because this is a huge story. I mean, the Seahawks are the biggest game in town. They are the most successful franchise right now in Seattle, having just won a Super Bowl, 2 in the last decade plus. The NFL is king. The sale price is going to be enormous. Adam Schefter said $10 billion yesterday. I know that Seth Wickersham said closer to 7 or 8. That's the number that I heard was 7.5. Was sort of like a over-under type of number for the Seahawks sale.
Well, Schefter said he talked to an NFL owner that told him it could go
really?
up to $10 billion.
Oh, the NFL owner thought it could be $10 billion? Oh, you don't say Adam. Really? Oh, the NFL owner said that. Oh, okay. Well, then maybe it'll get to $10 billion. No, the number I've heard is somewhere in that 7.5 range. Maybe it's a little over under that, which would be a lot. I mean, don't get me wrong. From a Seahawks fan perspective, you don't really care that much about the total price. I think what you care about is who's going to own this team next, because the last however many years under Paul Allen have been tremendous, right? I mean, Paul Allen, then the Paul Allen Trust, Jody Allen have done a tremendous job with this franchise. They've made the difficult decisions when they needed to. They've hired the right people. They've won at a staggering rate, and then won championships as well. I mean, you could really say they should have, or very well could have, won 4 championships if it's not for a very poorly reffed Super Bowl and 1 interception at the goal line. That's how close they are to having won 4 championships since they took over the ownership of this team. So yeah, I think you want more ownership that is similar to that. So how do you get there? And what does the process look like? And who are the names that are going to be bidding here? I think the process probably for me comes before the names. The process is enormous. And the 2 or 3 questions I would have with the process, number 1, does it go to the highest bidder? Is it as simple as that? And I think the answer to that question, at least from what I've heard, is yes. It just goes to the highest bidder. Because the sale is securing money that ultimately goes to charity, the trust is under an obligation to sell to the highest bidder. So any thought process of, well, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to make sure the owner has this, that, and the other, That's not really the way the trust is likely set
Well,
up.
and within the NFL has its own parameters for what meets ownership, right?
Obviously, the NFL is going to have its own. Yes, I mean they're going to have to sign off on any name, on any group, on anything. I mean the NFL is going to get the final say. Those other owners either vote for you or they don't. But I don't think that there's a tremendous amount of room for the trust itself to manipulate the process and choose the owner that the fans might want or something like that. I know I've heard people wondering about that. I don't think that's the way this works. Maybe there's a little wiggle room. Maybe the NFL helps out. But at the end of the day, they're looking for big money. That's kind of how this goes. And the fact that it goes to charity means the trust kind of necessitates it. So that to me is question one. Question two then becomes, okay, well, what does that process look like? Is it open or is it closed? And my understanding is it would be more of an open auction kind of a process where they bid against each other. Okay, so that to me, that to me is a good thing. It means that somebody can't come in here out of nowhere and just throw a tremendous amount of money at it that nobody else has an opportunity to match. So good news, I think, there. In terms of names we should be watching for, I'm with just about everybody who has said that it's probably not going to be Jeff Bezos. I don't think it's going to be Steve Ballmer, although certainly that name will come up as a Seattle person in some way. Seth Wickersham was on yesterday with Bump and Stacy.
There's very few purchases in this country that can generate not only cash on an annual basis, but watch the valuation skyrocket like NFL franchises. And I think that there would be somebody local who would want to be that person who owns the team for the community, kind of like what Robert Kraft did with the Patriots. Like I could see a scenario like that. Jeff Bezos, I know that his name gets thrown around a lot. I'm really skeptical that he'll be part of this, but you never know. I mean, I think it's like that's the thing that could get interesting, and it looks like it's going to play out after, over quite a while. I mean, according to the statement, they expect it to take a little bit of time, and so that'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, I don't see Jeff Bezos or really Steve Ballmer as likely candidates here. But I will give you some names of people that I do think are going to be important to watch, and I'm excited to talk about this with Brock when he gets in at 7 o'clock as well. The first name for me would be Samantha Holloway. I mean, if Wickersham says local, well, right now, Samantha Holloway, who currently owns the Kraken, after she inherited that from her father, she would be the first name to talk to, right? I mean, that was the group that we've been looking at and wondering if they were going to be behind a new NBA team. And these two things are going to get caught up with each other, believe me. As the NBA enters into expansion talks this summer, as Adam Silver just told us, you don't think they knew that this was coming down the pike? Of course they did. And you don't think that the NFL or the Allen Trust knew that potential expansion conversation was happening as well? These people all talk to each other. They all know what's going on in a way that most of us do not. So, I'm sure there is sort of a race to get to the market. And if you are Samantha Holloway, again, David Bonderman was the owner of the Kraken, had been in ownership circles with the Boston Celtics, was already kind of cleared by the NBA. There was sort of a natural pipeline for her to just be the person who had the inside track on a new NBA expansion franchise here in Seattle. Okay, but what if she looks at it and says, I think I'd rather have NFL? Much safer bet. Right? Much bigger pie. It's the NFL. It's the king of kings. It's the ultimate way to own a sports franchise. So she's the first person to look for. Now, I don't know what their group is interested in right now. Are they looking to diversify? Are they looking to continue to invest in Climate Pledge, which would mean an NBA expansion franchise? I don't know exactly what they're looking to do, but she would be the first name I would at least consider. After that, honestly, you've heard Seth Wickersham say that there's sort of this NFL list out there of approved owners. Regardless of that, I would be looking at people that put up unsuccessful, losing bids for recently purchased franchises. Okay? So that's Washington, that's Denver, right? Those would be the two big, most recent sales that I would be looking at. And if you go back to the Broncos sale, I mean, there were two groups that lost out to the Waltons, who were essentially like rich beyond everyone else's, imagination.
The Walmart owners, right?
Yes, that's the folks who own Walmart. So nobody was going to beat out the Walton family. Just wasn't going to happen. But Matt Ishbia would be the first name that I would look at. He owns the Phoenix Suns. He's worth $10 billion plus. He has the, sports ownership in his background, in his portfolio already. And my guess is because he was one of the finalists for the Broncos, he's probably a name that you would want to look at.
Oh, you know what? Suns fans like him, I'm pretty sure. Like I've friends down in Phoenix that are Suns fans that, that like him. He's young.
Yep.
He's pretty in tune with his fan base. He was in the Celebrity All-Star game this past weekend. That'd be cool.
Yeah, he is a name that he'd be the first name I'd watch. I mean, obviously Samantha Holloway because of the local ties. But after that, Matt Ishbia would be one of the, if not the top name I would be looking at. I don't know if that's been mentioned a lot recently or not, but that would be my first name that I'd be looking at. You remember he kind of got into it with a player who landed on him in the crowd and then threw an elbow. I forget who it was. Anyway, Matt Ishbia would be name number one. The other groups that did not get to the Broncos, that lost out on the Broncos, are it's a combo. Jose Feliciano and Badad Egbali. They own a mortgage company together. And that would be the other group that I would look at. And then the last one for the Commanders was Steve Apostolopoulos. Steve Apostolopoulos, who's a Canadian billionaire as well. So I'm just going back. I'm not, that's not inside information. It's just looking at how these things often work, which is people that have recently lost end up winning the bid. Okay. Well, let's take a look at that group. And Matt Ishbia, I think, honestly, is probably going to emerge here as one of the contenders, one of the bidders. But they've got to put a group together because, if it's $8 billion to buy this team, he's not spending 10 on his own, and there's debt rules, and you got to put together a group. But the fact that they were just recently able to do that in Denver tells me there's a pretty good opportunity for them to try to do it here. Maybe even better with this being on the West Coast, a little bit closer to Phoenix. So, all right, let's take a quick break. I'm sorry we got to do that, but I will come right back. I'll give you a little bit more info on this and, everything else going on in the world because there's a lot. It's everything you need to know next.
Bump and Stacy.
The NBA plans to announce that they're forming a committee to determine whether or not they're open to announcing it.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
Give Seattle a team.
There's a lot of public outcry, including outside of Seattle. People see that as an injustice.
I'm just no longer feeding into just the chase. I'm just going to sit patiently and just wait for this thing to go down. I'm not going to stress over it. It's going to happen.
Only on Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-718-4040. That's 800-718-4040. 800-718-4040.
Hey everyone, Rick Witters, owner of Cressy Door. At Cressy Door, we offer top-of-the-line garage doors, garage door service, and garage door repairs. From everyone here at Cressy Door, congratulations to the Hawks for winning the big game.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Stacy here. Sell your car to Wayscar Ford, and when they resell it, they share half their profit with you. That's right. Sell your car to Wayscar Ford, Isuzu, and Auburn. They'll pay you today for your car, and once they resell it, they'll share half their profit with you. WayscarFord.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you feel embarrassed, trapped, maybe even ashamed just because you own a timeshare? Well, I'm here to tell you you're not alone. Chuck McDowell here, the timeshare cancellation guy. I get over 3,000 complaints a week from all kinds of folks that feel the same way you do. Honest people, teachers, veterans, grandparents, all losing sleep over a timeshare they can't get rid of. That's why 15 years ago, I founded Wesley Financial Group to help people take their lives back. Today, I run Wesley with my 2 sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we would want our own family to be treated. That mindset has helped us cancel over 50,000 timeshares from people just like you. So if you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-311-4114. That's 800-311-4114. 800-311-4114.
The celebration continues.
We never wavered, man. We believed in each other. We loved each other.
On the home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Life's expensive enough, isn't it? Groceries, gas, kids' activities. Sometimes your roof needs replacing, but your budget says not now. Hi, I'm Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. We want to help with an offer to lift that weight off your shoulders. Get 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. Or save up to $3,000 on a new roof today. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing, must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business. Powering possibilities.
Now through March 22nd, switch to Comcast Business and get started with 150 megabit internet plus Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Or ask how to lock in your rate for 5 years on a qualifying internet bundle and get a $500 prepaid card when you add 2 lines of mobile for a limited time only. Call today. Restrictions apply. New customers only. Requires paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and other fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply.
Whether I'm catching up with friends or family, C-Star Restaurant and Raw Bar in Bellevue is the place. Hey, Brock Heward here, and I love C-Star's welcoming atmosphere and polished service, which make conversations flow easily and everyone leaves impressed. It's the same quality and hospitality C-Star and Chef John Howie have been known for decades. And now an amazing deal. 3-course dinners in the lounge every night from open to close starting at just $50. Go check it out. Find the details at CStarRestaurant.com, CStarRestaurant.com.
This hour is brought to you by Goldberg and Jones.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
All right, the Seahawks are officially for sale, so you got $7.5 billion. The Paul Allen estate yesterday announcing the start of this process by hiring law firm Latham & Watkins and investment bank Allen & Company, which will handle the sale. We know the trust is required to sell to the highest bidder to donate the proceeds to charity. We also know the team does have a lease through 2032. They're among the most successful franchises in the sport. So forget about any idea that they're going to be moving. That's not going to happen. After that, I guess more questions than answers, but here was Andrew Brandt yesterday explaining why this is such a rare occurrence.
The bigger issue, of course, is that this is a extremely scarce asset, right? This is a closed league. Mm-hmm. You know, maybe there's going to be some expansion and get to 32 eventually, or 34. But these assets are so scarce, and the media deals are so profitable. They're going to open it up again in 2029. It's the most valuable programming in the history of television. So, yeah, this is what you want. If you've got a ton of money and you want an asset that is only going to go north in terms of franchise value.
Yeah, so who will lead that purchase? How much are they going to spend? How much will they retain of the current administration? And, you know, continue the success that this organization has had for the last few decades. Look, this has been expected in league circles, so hopefully the process moves quickly. What I do know and can all but guarantee you is that nobody's leaving Seattle. Teams don't leave. I mean, they leave because of arenas, they in stadiums, or because they're in an area with not enough population. None of those things are true here. So please don't believe anybody who is trying to scare you and tell you that the team is going to leave. That is clickbait. Don't pay any attention to it.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
All right, opening day roster for the Mariners does not have a lot of holes, but backup catcher might have been one of them. They brought in journeyman Andrew Kisner, who has an extra N in his name, but his numbers are really not very good. So yesterday, Mariners doing probably the most sensible thing. They signed Mitch Garver to a minor league deal. He didn't garner much interest around the league as a free agent. His willingness to return probably tells you the two sides kept in touch and that he also enjoyed his time here in Seattle. So now he'll compete for that job, and he could absolutely win that job over Kisner. We'll see what happens. Baseball, of course, has a new guy in charge of the Players Union. Yesterday, they elected former number 2, Bruce Meyer, who is now going to lead the fight heading into this next round of CBA negotiations at the end of this season. Here was his opening statement.
We've been preparing for bargaining for years. Players have been preparing. Players know what's coming. At the end of the day, leadership is important, and leadership comes and goes, but what remains is the players. At the end of the day, it's the players who determine the direction of the union. At the end of the day, it's the players who determine our priorities in bargaining. Those priorities obviously have not changed and will not change. At the end of the day, our union is strong and always has been strong because of the solidarity of our members, of our players. That is going to continue. And as I've said in the past in different contexts, anybody who underestimates the strength and solidarity of the MLB Players Association does so at their peril.
Yeah, well, there's going to be a pretty big fight coming between that group and an ownership group that I think is really been preparing for it as well.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Now Quinn Hughes, we played 3.5 minutes in overtime. Quinn Hughes shoots, he scores! He scores! Quinn Hughes in overtime wins it, and the United States will move on and face Slovakia in the semis.
How about that? A couple of overtime games yesterday. U.S. men defeat Sweden 2-1 in overtime. That was Quinn Hughes, who plays for the Wild. He scores that game winner. They will now play Slovakia in the semifinal tomorrow at noon. Canada, they escaped 4-3 in overtime over Czechia. They'll play Finland at 7:30 a.m. tomorrow. And then we'll see if Sidney Crosby's available. He left the game yesterday injured and don't know exactly what's going on there yet. Meanwhile, I can tell you what's big in the Salk family today. 8 o'clock, just after 10 a.m., U.S. women playing Canada with the gold medal on the line. And Torrance star captain Hillary Knight going for her second gold, her fifth medal overall.
I think what's super special is having an opportunity to cement the legacy of this team and, what we're about. And, it just evokes so many emotions to be able to think that we have an opportunity to do that. And this is such a special group. And I'm really excited that we get to kind of share it with the world and hopefully cement that legacy together.
All right. Well, just after 10 o'clock this morning, U.S.-Canada women and there are a whole bunch of Torrent players on there, so should be fun to watch. All right, that's everything you need to know. 1/4 every hour here in the Brock and Salk Show. I know we're going to keep seeing this, and it's just sad. 509, what are the chances whoever buys the Seahawks moves them to a different city? 0. The chances are 0 or very, very close to it. Maybe in 2032 when the lease expires with Lumen Field, maybe then you have to have a conversation about how the building is doing and what is going on in the league and, another 6 years. Yeah, all right. I guess at that point there's a conversation to be had, but that's not the case right now. The Seahawks don't have any of the problems that eventually lead to teams moving. They are in a population center with plenty of people who support the team and they have a stadium that's just great, one of the best in the league. There's no issue here, none. Now, if stadiums start to change in the next 10 years, all right, then that conversation will come up again. But until there is a stadium conversation, there is no debate about whether or not the Seahawks are staying. They're staying. Not up for conversation. Please, anybody who tells you otherwise is trying to scare you. Do not listen to them. And in fact, don't pay any attention to them on anything else, because all they're trying to do is get you to click on their story, to click on their profile, to get you to listen. That's all that is. Because there is absolutely no basis in reality to that at all. All right, coming up next, we love the conversation yesterday with Michelle Smallmon from Unsportsmanlike. We'll get a little bit on the Super Bowl, and then even more on the player she thinks is going to put the Mariners over the top. Stick around. That's next on Brock and Salk.
I know the paint's barely dry on the new Super Bowl champ Seahawks gear, but can you believe Mariners pitchers and catchers have already reported and spring training is underway?
Holy catfish, that was fast. They know from day one of spring training, they have a chance to win the whole thing.
Follow how the 2026 Mariners come together at seattlesports.com. We're the home of your American League West champion Mariners.
Holy smokes!
Seattle Sports.
Let's talk about your hair. Well, maybe after we talk about my hair. I've got great hair, as you know, and it's because of Advanced Hair. Yep, Advanced Hair Restoration. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results that I can attest to. Guys, it's not magic, but it's close to it. They put hair where you need it most, and bam, it grows. It's actual science. Advanced Hair has top-rated physicians, modern technology, and best of all, you get your very own natural hair that begins to regrow the very next day. It's even guaranteed to grow for life. So schedule your free consultation now at 425-449-8185. Mention Curly to qualify for $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. It's a limited time offer. Advanced Hair, the winner of the 425 Business of the Year, and the team that gave me my hair back. More importantly, they'll do the same for you, guaranteed. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Trust is everything. Earning it takes years. Losing it takes 5 seconds.
Lee Johnson Auto Family.
Good Dog Auto Glass.
When the stakes are high, you want the best on your team. When your windshield breaks, don't settle for your insurance company's fix that's just safe enough. Trust Good Dog Auto Glass, where the quality isn't light. We do all the things the little guys don't, and we do all the things the big guy does.
We answer the phone when you call, we work for you, and we will walk you through the insurance process. Visit GoodDogAutoGlass.com, Puget Sound's most trusted auto glass company, and get more bang for your bark.
Celebrate your Seattle Mariners with a trip to Arizona this spring. Come to sunny and warm Peoria to see the AL West champions get started on another great season. It's family fun for fans of all ages. Book your trip today. Get tickets at PeoriaBaseball.com.
When I wake up
The best mornings
in the morning light,
start with Wrangler.
pull on my jeans and I feel alright.
Jeans, jackets, and shirts that get your day started on the right foot.
I pull my blue jeans on. I pull my old blue jeans on.
Good mornings make for better days.
I pull my blue jeans on. I pull my old blue jeans on.
Wrangler, for the ride of life.
Do you read more about your team in the off-season than in the season? Does your game day outfit include a brown bag with eye holes? Then you may be a fan of a BST or bad sports team. Luckily, when you bundle your home and auto insurance with Progressive, you're protected. Because seeing your painted face in the rearview mirror after a loss isn't just depressing. It's distracting. Visit Progressive.com today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Covered subject to policy terms. Not available in all states or situations.
We've all been there. Sleepless nights, mind racing, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Video security, burglar alarms, fire alarms, access control, 24/7 monitoring, and more. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy, knowing we're here for you, your people, and your business. Visit bayalarm.com to talk to a local security expert. Bay Alarm, we got you.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Febreze. New Febreze Air Mist has 50% more odor fighters and up to 30% more fragrance than the old formula. So now you can take on 100% more stinky odors, like sweaty gym bags, greasy cooking smells, and the after effects of the dog rolling around in something. Just spray, and new Febreze Air instantly restores just clean freshness. Smell you later, odor. Breathe happy Febreze. La, 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 la.
How can you grow your business from idea to industry leader? With smart business buying tools and technology from Amazon Business. From fast, free shipping to in-depth buying insights and automated purchase approvals, we deliver everything you need. Go to amazonbusiness.com for support.
Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select Oil Filter for just $32.99, plus 2 times points at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Limit supply.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Brock and Salk's Rewind is presented by Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, baseball season underway, of course, Brock, as we have hit this sweet spot of only like a couple of days in between football and baseball season here in Seattle. Michelle Smallmon, one of the hosts of Unsportsmanlike, which precedes us every morning here on Seattle Sports. And we got a chance to catch up with her on Media Row a couple weeks ago. Good morning, Michelle. How are you?
I'm doing well, guys. How are you doing?
I'm just imagining, did you and Evan just kind of get in the little RV there after the show was over that Friday morning and head back across the country? How did all that work out?
Oh, that sounds like my personal nightmare. Me being in an RV with Evan Cohen doing a cross-country road trip. Can you imagine how much complaining he would do?
Yes.
Oh, it would be terrible. Evan on the aux, nightmare fuel. No way. Thankfully, we took separate flights.
Well, and now you no longer have to wake up at midnight, essentially, to do your show. I was really feeling bad for you guys all week.
Oh, my gosh. You're not kidding. That alarm, or at least my alarm, went off at 12:30 a.m. We had to be to set by 2 a.m. because our show was live at 3 a.m. And every day in New York City, I get up at 4 a.m. There's a huge difference between getting up at 4 a.m. and getting up at 12:30 a.m. I know most people are thinking like, well, you're already kind of nocturnal anyway. It can't be that big of a difference. I think I'm still not fully caught up from what my body endured in San Francisco. I have an Oura ring, and every day I check my sleep score, and the ring is like, it's yelling at me like, what are you doing? Are you going to survive this? But I don't know, for those people who have an Oura ring, sometimes it'll say like, there's signs of something straining your body. Like, pay attention. Something's up with you. And every day in San Francisco, it was like, whoa, something is straining your body. Are you okay? I'm like, actually, I am not. I am not okay, but it was a great time. We feel so fortunate that we got to be there and hang out with great people like you guys. So it was all worth the wear and tear it put on me physically.
Did you learn anything about the Seahawks? Because I gotta say, it wasn't you guys. It was just sort of everyone. It was really hard for me and Brock all week, walking around Media Row, talking to people, having different folks on the show, and we were just blown away at how little conversation there was about the Seahawks in particular for a team in the Super Bowl. Do you feel like that will change now that they've actually, won the thing fairly handily?
That's fascinating to me because I feel like on our show, we certainly talked about the Seahawks a lot because we thought heading into this that they were by far the superior team. And we went position group by position group and broke it down. Seahawks obviously had the edge. I think the only thing that we really miscalculated is we gave the edge in coaching to Vrabel and McDaniels, simply because McDaniels has been there, done that. He knows what it takes to get the job done in a championship game. But I think the Seahawks proved that just from a tactical standpoint, they had the Patriots number in a big way in the Super Bowl. But I'm interested to hear more about your experience, because obviously we're siloed a little bit and really only can account for what we talk about and what we do. So you're telling me around Media Row, when you guys were bopping around doing interviews with different people, talking to different people across the country, they were not talking about one of the two teams in the Super Bowl and the team that was obviously the better team in the Super Bowl?
Well, Michelle, you'll remember my co-host who shares some things with Evan Cohen. They're very similar in some ways. I, too, would not want to be in an RV with him across the country, nor if it's cold on an outdoor set or something like that. I mean, I think they share some of those traits. If you remember, Salk on your guys' set there said, do you even know who Leonard Williams is? And not necessarily to you guys. And Chris Canty got all excited, but that was the point. And when we walked around or we brought guests on, I don't think they could have named 5 or 10 Seahawks on a Super Bowl team.
They knew they were good. They were like, oh, yeah, it's a good team. And obviously the Patriots are kind of okay. So there was this thought of like, well, they'll probably win, but I don't really know who they are. And I really hope people start to know that, because I mean, they didn't just win the Super Bowl. They kicked the living you-know-whats out of the Patriots
to be
for
fair,
60
they
minutes.
kind of sequestered us with all the college kids.
That's true.
And when I think about it now, and I even look at the disrespect we had to face, is we're next to Columbia University, Syracuse University,
Northwestern.
A bunch of these college. Like, why are we in the college section? Why can't we be with the cool kids by ESPN and McAfee and the rest of them? And now we had to be kind of sequestered with the college kids. So, saying all of that, your biggest takeaway with the Seahawks of 2025, now that the hay's in the barn, and you all will now project ahead to 2026 with these guys, your biggest individual takeaway of the team was what?
Well, there were so many, obviously. And I do think that the Seahawks, despite having an excellent record and despite securing the number 1 seed, did fly under the radar for a lot of people, which is shocking, because if we go back to a year ago, I know it was the Kansas City Chiefs as one of the teams in the Super Bowl, but I don't think people weren't talking about the Eagles. I don't think people were disrespecting the Eagles necessarily in the way that you guys are saying that people were disrespecting the Seahawks. But I think overall, just from this season, if I'm doing the diagnosis on what my takeaways were for the Seattle Seahawks, I would say it's probably how impressed I am with Mike Macdonald as a head coach. And, being new in his tenure and this job, you're learning about him in a different way, especially from a national level. We have a buffet of things to talk about. So we're, of course, watching all of the games and we're reading about all the teams and talking to people involved with the teams. But you guys are boots on the ground. You get it every day. So you guys were probably aware of him and how good he was in a different way than we were. And in speaking to people about him, we, of course, heard what a brilliant defensive mind he is and how so many people thought that he would be primed for a position like this and thrive once he got it. But just in reading about him and talking to people who were privy to things about him, I was really impressed with not only what he has done from a tactician standpoint, but just things that I learned about him, like scheduling time for the players to just talk to one another and learn about their lives outside of football. Just little things that he did to implement that connectivity within his team and make them be bonded to one another in a different way. And a lot of coaches do that, but just looking at this team, they really were in alignment in a pretty significant way. They flew under the radar, I think, because there was no drama with them. They just had their heads down. And even though they have star power on that team and they were excellent, they weren't an inflammatory team in any way. They didn't have some of the stuff that, the Eagles had with A.J. Brown or even the Patriots had, where we're talking about Steph Diggs and how he was different with the Patriots than he was in Buffalo and other places. They were just quietly excellent all season long, and I think that is a feather in the cap for Mike Macdonald, who was able to establish that sort of culture in Seattle.
Do you think they can keep that going? Because it's one thing to have the under-the-radar, no-drama team when you're building it, but once it's been built, and now we're having these conversations about Ken Walker and JSN and Boye Mafe and eventually Devin Witherspoon and all these guys who deserve to, be rewarded with contracts and everything else. Maybe it's here, maybe it's somewhere else. How much harder is it to stay not just under the radar, but no drama?
It's very hard. But I think that they can accomplish that, and I'll tell you why. Winning a Super Bowl, getting there, and actually executing and achieving your ultimate goal is hard enough. Maintaining it might be harder. But I think the Seahawks can, and I think it's because there are still people out there that are doubting Sam Darnold. And I don't know if he's going to be under the same pressure and scrutiny as some of these other quarterbacks have been after they win. Jalen Hurts has been to 2 Super Bowls. He wins one. They go, and to use their terminology, BTA against the Chiefs, who are going for a three-peat. He's Super Bowl MVP. All these debates raging. Is he top 5? Is he elite? What can Jalen Hurts accomplish? Is this the opening of the Eagles dynasty? I feel like for a lot of people, not me, because I'm going to give Sam Darnold all the credit in the world, and based on where he was drafted, he has the skill set to be this guy. This is what we always forecasted for him. We just lost sight of it along the way because of the circumstances that he was placed into. But I think for a lot of people, they're like, good for Sam. He got his redemption story, but good for him. I don't think that the average person out there is expecting Sam Darnold to be able to maintain this. They think that even despite him winning 14 games with the Vikings a year before, that this is somewhat of an outlier. So I think that they might be able to fly under the radar in a manner that not a lot of other Super Bowl champions could moving forward.
Mm-hmm. I want to take care of your Aura ring. I think that's really important to me. I want to make sure we get you out of here on time and get you your rest.
Thank you.
And if you thought your Aura ring was bad, imagine what Drake Mays was wearing that sucker in the Super Bowl. It was really, really bad. He was in total duress. But we would be doing a disservice if we didn't get you to share publicly what you shared with Salk and I privately on that little jet stream or Airstream or whatever. Yeah, Airstream about the new third baseman and leadoff hitter for our Seattle Mariners. You know the Cardinals inside and out. You know his story better than any of us do. So can you share with our audience a little bit of what you shared with us about what the Mariners are getting in Brendan Donovan?
I am so jealous that you guys have Brendan Donovan. He is just one of those players that you love to have on your team, and I think is a critical piece to a team that ultimately wants to win a championship. So I was very bummed to see him leave St. Louis, even though it felt inevitable because of the direction that the organization finds themselves in now, which is just a travesty. It's the first time in my entire life that the Cardinals are not going to be good and aren't going to be relevant. So obviously, while they're undergoing this rebuild, moving on from a valuable piece like Brendan Donovan hurts in the immediacy, probably better for them long term, but I say that he's the type of guy that has St. Louis Cardinals DNA, which is why it's so hard to watch him walk. But let me explain, because I think that for a lot of people listening to this, they'll understand why I say that and why it's a positive. So for my entire lifetime, the Cardinals, of course, had star players like Albert Pujols, Yadier Molina, Jim Edmonds, but they were able to maintain that standard of excellence because they had guys that were so versatile, that were defensively sound. They had those fundamentals. They were just a gamer. They are a Swiss Army knife where you can plug and play them in a variety of ways. And Brendan Donovan is that guy. He has, I hate to use this word, but it describes him. He's a gritty guy that is going to show up for you consistently. He is defensively so sound. He's someone that you can use in a variety of ways. He's going to be good at the plate for you. He's very disciplined. He's just somebody that is going to make your team better. And he's going to do it in a variety of ways. And as sad as I am to see him leave St. Louis, I'm glad he's going to go to a place where hopefully he'll be appreciated and that he can contend.
Can play anywhere, right? We know he can play second, he can play third, he can play left, he can play right. He gets on base. The one question is just, how does his bat translate to a ballpark that really seems to affect some players in a very negative way? When you say he's a good hitter, what kind of a hitter do you see him as?
So I use the word discipline because I feel like he's really good at grinding out at-bats. He's a very smart player in that way. So I don't know specifically how it's going to translate in that ballpark. That's TBD, obviously. But I think if you're trying to utilize him in a lineup ahead of J-Rod or the big dumper and Kyle Raleigh, that he's the type of guy that can be frustrating to pitchers and win those battles and get on base. I think he's somebody that will be able to work the count, like I said, going back to that word discipline, and he'll put himself in a position where he'll find himself on base, and those guys can come in and hopefully execute with runners in scoring position.
Last thing for me here, Michelle, I don't know if you remember, and it is, as you said, I mean, you were up at 12 a.m. at San Francisco, West Coast. Do you remember Salk's prediction take as we kind of walked off the set. Do you remember?
I don't even know if I remember it.
Do you remember what? I don't think he gave an exact score, but do you remember like when we left in a whirlwind? Do you remember what Salk's feelings were about the Super Bowl and what was going to transpire?
If I remember correctly, I do think I remember you saying that the Seahawks were going to win and win big. Is that correct?
Win big.
Blowout.
I mean, BTA. Like win.
Yes,
and win
you were
big.
very confident in the Seahawks.
So did Evan ever give Salk his flowers? Because those two are very like-minded. Did he ever say, "Golly, you know what? That furry, hairy little guy that jumped into our little RV.
That's unnecessary.
He was so spot on. He was as sure as anybody that you had to talk to 2 weeks ago that the Seahawks were going to absolutely whoop those guys. Just make sure Evan, just remind him of that if you wouldn't mind.
I will remind him, and upon further review, I don't think Evan gave him his flowers.
Well, I texted
I think
him.
that's something that we need to do once Evan returns from vacation.
I did text him Monday morning driving to work and was like, yeah, dude, it's a blowout. And I heard a little like, Brock and Salk tried to tell us. So there was sort of a begrudging, poor Evan, Patriots fan who's not even from New England. I mean, like, he's just kind of,
weird. He takes weeks of vacation too, does he? Oh, interesting. Oh, very good. Yeah,
I think Evan and I have a lot in common.
He is in the Florida sunshine right now, living the life of luxury. He's going to come back tanned and ready to go.
Nice.
Thanks, Michelle. We appreciate it. Continued great success. So I've said it before on your show. I've said it on this show. I love what you guys are doing in the morning on Sportsmanlike. I love that they hired radio people to do a radio show, and I think it really comes through. So continued success.
Oh, thank you so much. And we obviously love what you guys are doing too. Mutual Admiration Society here. And thanks for having me. And begrudgingly, I say enjoy Brendan Donovan. He will put a smile on your face.
That's awesome.
So enjoy him.
Cool. All right, there you go. That is Michelle Smallmon, who I enjoy. I think she does a great job, and I actually really like that show. I like what they're doing with it. Doesn't mean I like it, everything they have to say, and there's probably a lot more NBA talk than I care about, so, they have a national audience. But radio people doing radio shows, to me, is a good thing long-term, and I think they've done a nice job with that. So, all right, I'm going to come back to the stuff on Brendan Donovan a little bit later. There's a lot to like there, and I think at what time are we doing that? 7:30, 8 o'clock, something like that. 7:30, I think. We're going to talk through a little bit of what that means and what he'll look like as the leadoff hitter and some of the thoughts on him. But I got to play you some of this sound right now. This is all from Josh Naylor, who spoke with the media yesterday, and we go down there right next week, and obviously want to talk to Cal. We want to talk to Julio. Like, those are usually the top two. Logan's always one of our favorite people to talk to when we're down there. But I got to say, I think Josh Naylor's got to become a must talk to, right? He just seems to be such a fascinating person. I'll play you some of the sound later on Brendan Donovan, but he said some other things that I thought were very important. So here he is talking about what happened last year and what it means leading into this year. Brock asked me yesterday, what do you think the team has learned from their experience getting to the ALCS last year? I think Josh Naylor essentially answered it.
I think this team is, based on what we did last year and how far we went last year, I think that's like the standard now is, we got to go above and beyond now. We got to do everything we can to get to that World Series and win it. It's that mentality here. Winning is everything, and if you're not doing something to help us get to that winning stage today, you didn't really have a successful day in our opinion as a whole. We try to get 1% better, drop 1% in that bucket every day, come to the ballpark prepared to work, prepared to learn, to grow, do everything you can to be a little bit better than you were yesterday to get to that World Series. Because what you do in March, April, May is, what's going to dictate September, October.
I love the way he puts that, and there's a hockey phrase about that where they say, do something on every shift. Just do something on every shift to help the team. Maybe it's just moving the puck at 1 point from the defensive zone to the offensive zone. Maybe it's a hit. Maybe it's a shot block. Maybe it's a goal. Maybe it's an assist. Maybe it's a good pass to break out of the zone. Whatever it is, do something on every shift to help your team win. And I think that's essentially the mantra you get there from Josh Naylor. Just do something every day. Do something that helps you win every single day. That's baseball. They know they're not going to win every single day. It's not the way the game was built. And you're not going to go 4 for 4, 5 for 5 with a home run every day either. You're going to have your offers. But can you do something to help you win, either that day or down the road? And that's a pretty good sign of great culture, which the Mariners seem to have right now. Now, yesterday I spent a while talking about their model, right? Not draft, develop, and trade. Draft, develop, trade, and retain. And that last piece is so important. We talked about, the signing of Julio and Naylor and Cal and JP and Luis Castillo, and we'll see if Logan Gilbert or George Kirby or somebody is going to be next on that list. My gut tells me it's going to be Logan, and we may even have that conversation before the year begins. We'll see. I hope so. I think that'd be great. But, the retain portion of that is important for a bunch of reasons. Partly the money that's being spent and knowing those guys, and there's less risk once you've gotten to know them as opposed to bringing in free agents from the outside. There's a lot of reasons to like the retention part of it. But one I mentioned yesterday was what it does for your culture inside, for the players, the culture of the players in the clubhouse, knowing that there's an opportunity to be taken care of where they're at, rather than constantly living in fear that there's going to be a roster churn. And Naylor actually addressed what that felt like in Cleveland.
Yeah, in Cleveland, I think a lot of us knew we were eventually going to get shipped out. We'd have conversations in the locker room about hopefully we get traded to the same team. Because, I think we all kind of felt like we were going to go eventually. And then now, with that other question, it's kind of nice to know where you're going to be at for the next 5 years, know where you can raise your family, looking at different areas in the city to maybe put your kid in school because you're going to be there. So it's a blessing, and my wife and I are so thankful. My family's so thankful for this opportunity. And now we can just play baseball and not worry about everything outside of it.
All right, so he's talking about what it means for himself to have that 5-year deal so that he himself can raise his family, know where he's going to be, et cetera. Great. But I think it's more for me about that bigger cultural shift. When you're in Cleveland, when you're in Tampa, when you're in Milwaukee, when you're in any number of towns that have baseball teams, you've got that threat hanging over you. When am I going to be dealt? When are they going to move on from me? And they have to do it, I think, because that's their model and that's their way of competing without spending as much money as even the teams in the middle. But that's the effect that it has. Fast forward or bring it back here to Seattle and think about how important these guys were to each other last year, how much they talked about love and camaraderie and respect and all of the things that went on inside that clubhouse where they just didn't want it to end. Well, that's a lot easier to do when you're not having to make plans with your buddy to, quote, hopefully get traded to the same city so that you can keep hanging out. Right? Roommates, Cal and Logan. If Logan wants to sign here, he can. I know they've made overtures. I know there have been offers. If Logan and Cal want to continue their, bromance for the next 5, 6, 7 years, they can. Because that offer is on the table here in Seattle for draft, develop, trade, and retain. So thank you to Josh Naylor for helping me with my points. I appreciate it. I'd made the point yesterday, and it was nice to hear him sort of add to it in his own way and without knowing about it later in the day. All right, the Seahawks are for sale. What does this mean for every Seahawks fan out there? There are a lot of questions. We'll try to provide some answers next on Brock and Salk.
I know the paint's barely dry on the new Super Bowl champ Seahawks gear, but can you believe Mariners pitchers and catchers have already reported and spring training is underway?
Holy catfish, that was fast.
They know from day one of spring training, they have a chance to win the whole thing.
Follow how the 2026 Mariners come together at seattlesports.com. We're the home of your American League West champion Mariners.
Holy smokes!
Seattle Sports.
Hey Hawk fans, Jake Bobo. Stormy weather is here. How's your roof holding up? Give Techline Roofing a call. With the strongest warranty in the business, Techline has you covered. That's Tekline, roofing.com. Trust Techline.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
A new baseball season is here, and Toyota of Renton has game-changing deals on your new truck. Lease the 2026 Tacoma for $309 a month for 39 months with $39.99 due at signing. Go big with the 2026 Tundra, where qualified customers can finance for 2.99% APR for 72 months with a $1,000 cash incentive. Visit them today in person or online at toyotaofrenton.com. Offers valid through March 2nd, 2026 on approved credit through TFS. Excludes taxes, titles, license, dealer accessories, and $200 negotiable dealer documentation fee. Model 7540-8361.
I've always wanted to learn French, but the app I tried didn't help.
If you want to memorize words in another language, there's an app for that. But if you want to really learn another language, there's Babbel. Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different. Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Babbel feels like it was created intentionally by people who really know what you need to learn another language. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Want to really learn another language? Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to save up to 50%. Babbel.com.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-290-7100. That's 800-290-7100.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest. This is the power of 12 as one, man.
KIRO AM Seattle and KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma.
This hour of the Brock and Salk Show is powered by Star Rentals, preferred supplier to the West's best contractors.
Get me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
I don't read the internet, guys.
Take the bull by the hands.
And Brooke, you are. And Brooke, you are.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
Well, Brock, the Seahawks are for sale. Turns out Seth Wickersham was right on this one, as he often is, and people don't always want to hear what he has to say, but it turns out that a lot of it ends up being very true not too long down the road. And in this case, he was right. The Seahawks put up for sale essentially right after the parade was finished and completed and cleaned up, and now they're on the market. They announced yesterday that they hired a law firm and hired an investment bank to handle the sale. And so, as per the wishes of Paul Allen, the Seahawks are going to be sold and turned into money for charity.
Kind of bummed. That was my my tweet. And by the way, and I heard from some of the New England trolls on Twitter yesterday. My deal was never about the truth of Wickersham's report.
Right.
It was all about the timing and where it came from. And I was kind of, maybe it wasn't New England, but there were a lot of other friends in the league of Mr. Kraft, and I thought the timing of it was a bit peculiar right before the Super Bowl and all the chaos that created. So I never questioned the veracity of the reporting of both Brady Henderson, who will join us, and Seth Wickersham, because it was in the contract as well, right? It was going to be sold. That was Paul Allen's wishes, and there is going to be billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars philanthropically that are going to be poured into this city through that sale. But I'm bummed. I thought Jody has done a marvelous job. We talked a whole lot about it at the time, Salk, when this report came out. I don't know how you could question really any of her and the team around her, Bert Kold and others, their decision-making over the last half a decade.
It's been amazing.
And it was those decisions, those hard decisions, that really put them in position to do what they did a week and a half ago.
It is almost somewhat ironic that the moment Jody started to get a lot of credit is the moment she ends up selling the team. I mean, she was sort of a quiet figure that we didn't talk a lot about for the first few years until we started looking back at it retrospectively. Like, wait a minute. This is a person who made the right call on Russ, made the right call on Pete, made the right call on John, made the right call ultimately on Mike McDonald. She did a great job. And now she's going to sell the team, and that's going to be the end, I think, of her involvement with the Seahawks. Maybe she retains some small piece or something, but I don't think she's going to be a primary owner. No. So, Brock, I'm right there with you. It is a bummer. It does stink. It's too bad. But it leads to so many questions, and I know fans everywhere have them. It starts with, is the team going to move? No. I don't know how else to say this. No. The team is not going to move. At least not right now. I can't predict the next, 20 years of what's going to happen. But this is not an impetus for the team to move.
No.
Teams move for two reasons. Either they have an issue with their stadium or arena, or they don't have a fan base population large enough to support them. Neither of those things is true in Seattle right now.
Or the league wants them moved because of those things.
Fair. Okay, yes. Throw that one in there as well. Yep. But none of those things are true right here. None. There is no more desirable city than Seattle. There is a huge and powerful, strong fan base here, and you've got 6 more years on your lease at Lumen Field, and my expectation is that would continue long after that because it's a great facility that has provided a huge home field advantage and is making them a ton of money. So I would be very, very surprised. In fact, I would put the odds at right around 0 that this is going to lead to the team being
That's
moved.
all they have left on the deal, huh? Is 6 years?
I think that's right.
Is that right? Okay, that's a little intriguing to me because owners, especially those that are going to spend in this kind of realm, we know one thing: they want control of that building. They want to own that building. They want to own all the real estate around that building. You're watching it happen with the richest owner in the NFL right now, the Penner Group out of Denver, that is over the next 4 years going to build, a 150-acre project. So,
and it wouldn't surprise me if a lot of that ends up happening around there anyway. I mean, I'm with you. I think a lot of that stuff will be a part of it, but I don't see it in any way meaning that the Seahawks would move out of Seattle. And as I said, anybody who's trying to tell you that is just looking for clicks. So please stay away from that. The next thing is, okay, well then who's going to buy this team? Who's out there? Who's a possibility? And by all accounts, the idea that Jeff Bezos is going to be the guy does not seem to be likely. I think you got to at least consider Steve Ballmer, but that would, again, surprise me. I spent, Brock, I sort of went down two roads looking for this, and I'd be curious your thoughts. And I guess we're going to talk to Tod Leiweke about it, about this whole thing coming up here at 7:30 this morning. But, you got to look at Samantha Holloway first, right? She's one of the local owners in town. I don't see John Stanton or anybody in the Mariners group being a major player here for the Seahawks. So you're now looking at Samantha Holloway, who's been rumored to be interested in an NBA team. What if she looks at it and says, wait, instead of that, I could try to own an NFL team? Yeah, let's do that instead.
Yeah, I mean, she's familiar with the market. She is the Kraken have a world-class facility. You spend and frequent, 3-4 days a week at least up there, Salk. So you know the commitment they have made and what their arena has turned into. And yeah, I think now does she have that kind of juice? And this is always the part of this. I mean, this is always the other side of this. Is really what does Park Avenue want? Who does Park Avenue want in their co-op? Right? They wanted the Penner Group because the Penner Group is worth $65 billion.
And when you say the Penner Group, really what you mean is the Walmart Waltons.
That's right. There you go. Yep, Walmart, Waltons, Penners, that whole assemblage in Denver. They wanted that kind of wealth into their co-op.
Yeah.
So who do they want in? Not necessarily who wants in. We saw that with the NBA conversation a decade or so with the Sonics. So I think that's always an important part of this. We think of it like, who are these whales? Who have this money?
No, the NFL is going to choose a lot of this, and that's important to them. But the league, but it also has to be sold to the highest bidder because that's what the trust says. Because it's trying to maximize the amount of money that comes into charity or that goes to charity. So those two things, maybe it's somewhat of a cross purposes with each other, but I'm sure it'll all get worked out. And that's why Latham and Watkins and Allen and company are here to kind of work through some of this. I don't know that she's the most likely, but I think she's the person you got to look at first. And somebody did say, what about Bonderman? Well, that's her dad who passed away. So David Bonderman's not around anymore. Brock, you're right. You got to look in NFL circles. So to me, you look at groups or people that made the final cut or near the final cut for some of the more recent purchases, but didn't win the bid. So in Denver, that was Matt Ishbia, who ends up owning the Suns and has $10 billion or so. And then the other group was Jose Feliciano and Bedad Egbali. I'm sorry, I just looked this up last night. I'm not as familiar with them, but they own a company together, and they're each worth about $3.5–4 billion, according to my Google search. So those are two groups, Ishbia and Feliciano Egbali, that both were second-round finalists for the Broncos, who were one of the biggest, most recent sales. The other name was Canadian billionaire Steve Apostolopoulos, who was a finalist for the Commanders, who also sold somewhat recently. But you would think that those are all, incredibly
people that they have
well-funded people.
Yeah, they've gone through the process and are going to be in the running.
They've been vetted. They've been vetted already by the NFL. Well, they have. They've been vetted by the NFL.
I vetted you and Heather and your family when you came into my home.
Thank you for doing that.
You thought it was just for a nice night and a nice meal. No, I really wanted to go through the vetting process to see, how you were as home dwellers. And it was a positive review. The other bummer in this, Salk, is you look around and for everything I could say about this co-op and how unbelievably run it is, we do see the dysfunction in so many places. And that dysfunction starts at the top.
Yep.
And that's what also bums me.
Of course.
You've had for 4 decades a really selfless group that doesn't interfere, that doesn't mingle, that doesn't put themselves in the camera's lens, that doesn't think they can be the general manager, that doesn't just misappropriate funds. Like, it's done everything right. And look around the league, and there are a lot of teams. When Mike Mayock says 25 of 32 teams are out of alignment between owner and president and GM and coach, right? Like that's a big number. You look around and every division's got a dysfunctional owner that meddles and makes it about them and wants the attention and thinks that they should be the show. And that's always the kind of the other rub for me and why it's such a bummer is it's like you've had a Peyton Manning, a Tom Brady, a Drew Brees, a Patrick Mahomes, you've had just somebody that's been such a steady Eddie this entire century, helping lead because they've not made it about them and they've empowered those around them. And I sure hope more than the bottom line that is the virtue of the owner coming back.
I am right there with you. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to even be considered by the league or by the trust as it makes the sale. The trust doesn't have much of a choice. It's got to sell to the highest bidder, and the league cares about who it wants, not who they think is going to do a great job.
Because that Ishbia guy down in Phoenix, ask Suns fans what that's experience been. He's been a tool.
Lyle thinks he's great.
Yeah, I think fans like him.
Oh, I've gotten what we'll be down there next week, and
we can find out.
Every week we're down there. I listen to sports radio, and he's just, he makes about him. He rips the ball out of Jokic's hands. He throws it at him. He's just kind of I don't know. It strikes me as a very young, immature guy, and we'll see. Maybe that's just a reaction to listening to our peers in Phoenix, and we can dig in more on that, but. There is a danger in what you've had in the rock solid stability of leadership and funding and budget and everything else that you have had. There is a danger with this kind of turnover.
Bump and Stacy.
The NBA plans to announce that they're forming a committee to determine whether or not they're open to announcing it.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
Give
Seattle a team.
There's a lot of public outcry, including outside of Seattle. People see that as an injustice.
I'm just no longer feeding into just the chase. I'm just going to sit patiently and just wait for this thing to go down. I'm not going to stress over it. It's going to happen.
Only on Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends at People Come First, PCF Construction Group. People Come First. Spring and summer right around the corner. And if you haven't called PCF about getting started on your new deck, well, now is the time. With a patio cover, a heater, a fireplace from PCF, you can enjoy your outdoor deck or patio all year long, no matter what Mother Nature throws, just like we built at our place. And right now, you can get up to $6,000 off your entire project, plus no payments and no interest until 2027. Save an additional $1,500 when you bundle your deck and patio cover like we did. Some restrictions do apply, but do what Molly and I did some years ago. Contact PCF for all the details and start planning and designing your dream deck now so you're ready to build by the spring. Planning permits take a little time, so don't wait. Get started today. Go get project ideas. Browse photos and find all the offer details at PCFgroup.com. That's PCFgroup.com, making your outdoor space with People Come First.
This is Chris Davis with the Davis Law Group. Did you know that a pedestrian does not have to be crossing the street on a marked crosswalk to have a successful legal claim against the driver? Pedestrians can even be partially at fault for a collision and still have a valuable claim. Call us today for a free consultation or get my free book on pedestrian accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com. That's Davis Law Group, better service and even better results.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. Good Dog Auto Glass. When your windshield breaks, the national brands say their fix is safe, but the quality is light. Instead, trust Good Dog Auto Glass for the best in quality auto glass.
Don't let the insurance company bully you. When you call, we answer the phone. Visit us online and get more bang for your buck.
It's WFC 190 World Fighting Championship at Emerald Queen Casino Event Center. Saturday night, April 25th. Experience the thrill and excitement of high-energy professional mixed martial arts. Tickets at emeraldqueen.com. Don't miss this amazing mixed martial arts event. WFC 190 World Fighting Championship, April 25th. At Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. 21 and older, need gambling help? Call 800-547-6133 or visit emeraldqueen.com.
It took us 93 years to build this reputation, but it'll take just 5 minutes to ruin it. If you think about that, you'll do things differently.
Lee Johnson Auto Family.
home of your Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
Seattle Sports.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Ink card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Ink Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Santana, Oneness Tour 2026. The power, the energy. Come celebrate your favorite hits from Woodstock to Supernatural and beyond. With very special guest, the Doobie Brothers. August 6th, White River Amphitheater. On sale Friday, 10 a.m. at livenation.com. Santana and Doobie Brothers, Oneness Tour 2026.
Spring training is here, and Toyota of Kirkland is throwing you nothing but fastballs down the middle. Step up to the plate on a new ride for the upcoming season with their incredible inventory and offers on Toyota favorites like the Prius, Tacoma, Camry, and Corolla. Their all-star team will get you set up with a test drive so you can round the bases and head home with that car the same day. Don't strike out on savings. Swing by Toyota of Kirkland today, just off I-405 on the Totem Lake exit, or visit online at toyotaofkirkland.com.
P&D Tree Service, experts in local tree removal. Their team works fast to remove problem trees in your yard and neighborhood. Have you ever seen a tree removed by a crane? P&D Tree Services specializes in close-quarter tree removal to minimize impact on your landscaping. 24-hour emergency service. Any job, big or small. Safe, efficient, and fast. P&D Tree Service turns multi-day jobs into a few hours, saving you time and money. Enjoy a clean, safe, and bright yard. PNDTreeService.com.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
All right, the Seahawks are officially for sale, Brock, as the Paul Allen estate yesterday announced the start of this process. They're going to hire law firm Latham & Watkins and investment bank Allen & Company to handle the sale. They will be required to sell to the highest bidder and then donate the proceeds to charity. Andrew Brandt was on yesterday with Wyman and Bob.
Not a huge surprise. There's reports a month ago, and like you said, this has been known since the passing of Paul Allen that at some point we'd have this, and now it's official. And again, the obvious point is you're really selling high. It's like a player coming off an incredible season heading to free agency. It's coming off the best season possible, best result possible. Reminds me of the Boston Celtics 2 years ago that went up for sale while the confetti was still in the air. And that's kind of happening here. But again, this is not a big surprise.
Not a big surprise. And I think everybody knew as well within that time frame, Salk, that poison pill had to expire, where they were going to have to donate it, 10% back to the city and yada, yada, yada. So everybody had kind of a sense of the time frame. But Andrew Brandt's right. I mean, has the brand ever been better to sell? The fans, right? I just talk to people around the country. You say Seahawks, what do they think? Those 12s. And a lot of them think they're really annoying around the country. They just travel everywhere. Ask anybody in the broadcast business. Name the top 5 stadiums to go visit and be a part of. Lumen Field is on every single broadcaster's list, if not near the very, very top of everybody that we have talked to. And we talk to just about every broadcaster, both on the field and in the booth, that comes and visits this place. The building is beautiful. They have committed to it year in and year out, right, to continue to update that. Oh, let's throw in the facility. Let's just put it on Lake Washington and have one of the most dynamic, beautiful facilities as well. Stability of coach, stability of GM, young talent. I mean,
these are all the reasons they're not going anywhere, and that needs to just continue to be reiterated. I kept reading it yesterday. We've seen a ton of texts asking about it all morning. The Seahawks are not going anywhere. They're not. They're going to be sold, but they are not going to be leaving Seattle. That is not a part of this process. And again, anybody who's trying to tell you that that is a part of the process is looking for clicks.
So have you seen this tax that's coming?
Yeah. and will have absolutely nothing to do with this whatsoever.
And by the way, that tax system may come and it may leave, and new leadership may come. Who knows where
that's
that's
not
going
going
to
to.
go?
That is not going to have anything to do with this.
The political waves of which way it blows and which way
Don't
it
get
goes.
caught up in the culture war. Don't get caught up in the garbage of people looking for clicks and looking to make everything fit their narrative
I
or
was looking
anything
for
like
clicks.
that.
Did you see what I
Oh yeah,
retweeted
I
yesterday?
see you and your clicks. We'll get to that a little bit later. Clickbait guy over here.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
All right, Mariners have done kind of the obvious thing here, right? The one potential hole in this roster was backup catcher. Do you remember the name of the backup catcher, Brock?
That's an odd question.
No, with the guy who was already here. Andrew Kisner. Andrew Kisner.
Not the golfer, Kisner.
No, but
not spelled like it.
Spelled with an N.
Pronunciation of his name.
Andrew Kisner, but
Got
it's
very upset about that.
who did?
You did
You
about
did.
the way his name is pronounced.
Not upset about it. I just, I try to cut my meat with a fork and knife. It's fine. I get it. Anyway, they decided to bring back Mitch Garver on a minor league deal. Obviously, he did not generate any interest, so I got no problems with this. Do you?
I can't wait to see him.
You love Mitch Garver.
That's my guy.
On a league minimum deal? It's a good deal.
Oh, of course.
This is exactly what you should do, right?
But it does show you he had
no market.
0.0 value.
None. Nobody was interested in a major league deal for Mitch Garver, so he signs a minor
my
league
eyes were
deal.
right. Okay, my eyes were right.
No, I think you're just doing just fine there. Meanwhile, baseball has hired a new. The Player Association has hired a new union leader, Bruce Meyer. Brock.
That didn't take long, huh?
Well, they didn't. Yeah, I mean, I think
Is
they've.
that the guy that we had on the show from the Seattle Times? Wasn't his name Bruce? Wasn't it?
Bruce Drennan or Bruce something else. No, Bruce Drennan was the guy in Cleveland. Yeah, no, not the same guy. Bruce has been the number 2 guy at the union, and again, wartime consigliere. They are gearing up for what is going to take place after this season.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Quite the day for both the U.S. and Canadian hockey teams yesterday. Men's side, the U.S. went to overtime to defeat Sweden 2-1. Quinn Hughes had the game winner. Here's Emily Kaplan on what happened.
It's about character. It's about adversity. It's about the will to win. Remember, when Bill Guerin, the GM, constructed this team, it wasn't necessarily about picking the best players or an all-star team. It was about picking the right players. And I know that's sounding a little bit like I'm trying to evoke Herb Brooks, but that's exactly what they're trying to do here and get the next gold medal, the first time since the 1980 Miracle on Ice. And next up, the Americans will play Slovakia, and it's going to be a tough test because Slovakia has been the darlings of this tournament. They're playing with house money. Brady Tkachuk said it's going to be fun, and I guarantee you it's going to be a good game.
Jeez, the quarterfinal round was just like your tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of those games was nitty-gritty,
Pretty
tough,
crazy.
overtime.
Down to the wire.
Yeah, the Canadians, Czechia, that was a 1-goal game as well. Like,
unbelievable.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, they won in overtime and lost Sidney Crosby. We'll see whether or not he's ready to go
And
by
the gals
tomorrow.
get after it today.
Well, hold on,
right?
just quickly. Tomorrow you got you got Canada versus Finland at 7:30, and then the U.S. will take on Slovakia. I think it's at noon or 1 o'clock, something like that. The U.S. women, you're right, Brock. Later this morning, 10 a.m. Seattle time,
so fired
gold medal game.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
You're going to be busting
against
out of
Canada.
here.
I am.
Oh, you're busting out of here.
Well, a lot of Cecily's teammates are gathering at the Kraken Ice Complex, Brock, to watch that game at 10 o'clock.
Oh, no school today?
No
huh?
school, yeah.
Oh,
They're
are
on
you heading up-
vacation.
Are you heading up there to the basement?
Probably drop Cecily off and then head to the basement would be my guess. But I'm intrigued. I can't wait to see how this goes.
Good little bar up there.
Well, but then I can't eat there tonight. Twice in one day is too much. That's everything you need to know. 15:15 every hour here in the
Does our
Brock and
next
Salt
guest
Show.
know how often you frequent the
I don't know that he does, to be honest with you. I don't know that he does. He should.
Does he know that better than Lyle knows Slovakia, Czechia, Finland, the geography of all those wonderful European countries?
They're in Europe. Anyway, I was going to ask about, is Sweden good in hockey this year? Because all that's on my mind,
Yeah.
speaking of a European, so it's not like Herb Brooks in Miracle, where he says you guys are playing like this is a throwaway game up in Rochester.
Yeah. No, Sweden's good. Sweden, Finland, Czech, Slovakia. Like, those are usually pretty good teams.
Okay, so not like the Miracle.
No. God, I watched the Miracle documentary with Brock. It is good. It really is good. I mean, the movie is still
Even
better.
having to deal with
Watching
Molly talking
themselves
the whole
win
time.
the game, like the looks on their faces still to this day.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
They
It
were
is
like
pretty
tearing
amazing.
up, and it was really cool.
Yeah, there
Seeing
was some
footage
pretty
they
great.
had never seen. Right, that's a cool thing too.
Yeah.
Like I had never seen that footage of my dad or my mom. Like just.
Did you like some of the shots and conversations with like OC's parents? What did you think of this? It's super. This was super. It also shows you that the guys they found to play all those dudes in the movie were just like perfectly cast. Every
Pretty well
one of them
cast.
looks exactly like the dude he ended up playing. All right. Tod Leiweke certainly knows this situation as well as anybody. He's been the president of the Seahawks. He's been number 2 COO of the NFL. And now he is the executive leader and part owner of the Kraken. So when the Seahawks go up for sale, he's a pretty interesting person to talk to. We will do that next on Brock and Salk.
I know the paint's barely dry on the new Super Bowl champ Seahawks gear, but can you believe Mariners pitchers and catchers have already reported and spring training is underway?
Holy catfish, that was fast.
They know from day one of spring training, they have a chance to win the whole thing.
Follow how the 2026 Mariners come together at seattlesports.com. We're the home of your American League West champion Mariners.
Holy smokes.
Seattle Sports.
All right, Mike Salk here. The championship trophy, yeah, it's right back here in Seattle where it's supposed to be. That big game is in the rearview mirror. The next one, it's going to be baseball's opening day, right? Well, why don't you make a little commitment right now to look and feel your very best by then? People all over this region are going to lose 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds, and you can do it by the start of baseball season. That whole process starts by calling Eastside Weight Loss Clinic, and a little 15-minute phone call is all it takes to get started. I did this. I lost 35 pounds in 8 weeks. Heck, I lost 10 pounds just in the first week. It's awesome. And I didn't have to fight for space in the gym. No pills, no injections, no fake food, nothing like that. Just real food that you buy at the grocery store, great recipes, the coaching support, and especially the accountability that I needed to drop that weight. So do it for yourself this year. Book that 15-minute consult at eastsideweightlossclinic.com. Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home for you so you attract the right buyers. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
We've all been there. Sleepless nights, mind racing, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Video security, burglar alarms, fire alarms, access control, 24/7 monitoring, and more. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy, knowing we're here for you, your people, and your business. Visit bayalarm.com to talk to a local security expert. Bay Alarm, we got you.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend?
Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Dave Matthews Band is coming to the Gorge Amphitheater. Friday, September 4th with Stephen Wilson Jr. and Infinity Song. Saturday, September 5th with Watch House and Jonah Kagan. And Sunday, September 6th with Jesse Wells and Sierra Hall. On sale this Friday at 10 a.m. at LiveNation.com. Don't miss Dave Matthews Band Live. Produced by Live Nation.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit MuckleshootCasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
News breaking yesterday that the Seahawks are now going to be for sale. It was not a huge surprise, as obviously there had been stories that this was coming, but became official yesterday. Who better to talk to about this, Brock, than Tod Leiweke, president and CEO of the Kraken, former president of the Seahawks and the Lightning, former COO of the NFL. It's a really long, lengthy resume. It's all very impressive. And Tod joins us right now. Good morning. How are you, Tod?
Hey, good morning, guys. It's not all impressive, but I'll take the nice words.
Just brother of Tim. We'll just do that and move on from there. Hey, we'll talk kind of about what all of this means, but maybe first, if you don't mind, just reflecting for a moment on the legacy of Paul Allen and of Jody Allen and their tenure as owners and stewards of this franchise.
Well, that word gets used, stewards, but I think it was no more true than with their leadership, their ownership, and their ultimate stewardship of the franchise. When I went to work there, you hear, stories, and it sounds more like folklore, but the story that the team actually moved to Southern California was real. And of all things, the current team president, the great Chuck Arnold, was asked to lead that. Gary Wright tells stories of butcher block paper on the windows of their offices in Kirkland. And it was really Paul's, courage. Lots of people weighed in. Ultimately, the citizens voted, but it was his courage at that point in time that saved the Seahawks. And, would they have come back? I don't know, because you would have not only had to reacquire a team and pay all of that money, you would have still had to have built the stadium. But he had the courage to say, look, I'm willing to step out. I remember him once telling me that, heretofore he could go to Dick's and have a hamburger and no one really sort of knew him or bothered him. And he lost some of that anonymity when he went public and when they did the statewide stadium vote. And sometimes people don't trust, but looking back, now they can feel great comfort that everything he pledged, everything he said, all came true and perhaps a greater extent than could ever be imagined. For him to keep the team here, for he and so many others to do what the team did over that ensuing period of time. And then to have the sale proceeds benefit the incredible work of the foundation and the trust. It's really an incredible story.
Todd, you were sitting with Mr. Goodell, I believe, for the 49er playoff game. I think you even gave Jay Harbaugh the kickoff return plan to start that game. So kudos to you and your genius in that way as well. As you sat in that suite and you watched that game and you watched the run to lifting the Lombardi Trophy again, can you kind of characterize what the brand was when you were a part of it in 2003 when you joined? And 23 years later, as you see that brand displayed all over the place with 150 million people last Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, it's really amazing because, Paul was a guy who, he did other things in the community. And when I say Paul, it really is Paul and Jody, because it was a brother and sister who did so much to impact and affect the community. But the Commons Project was kind of an extraordinary thing that ultimately didn't come to pass. And other things were tried, but generally he left a mark on the city that was extraordinary. And he could have lived anywhere he wanted. He chose to live in Seattle. He had incredible impact. And for any challenges we might have had on my first day, they were absolutely insignificant relative to what had been done in saving the team, building that stadium. And then anything's possible. And the possible came true. It became a team that won. It became a team that had deep impact on the community. And not just community work, but binding a community together and fans cheering and all of us having something in common. And he believed in all that stuff, and he loved it. He wanted to win more than anyone. His passing was a very, very sad day. But his sister took this on, and she did a fantastic job. She gave the football people permission. She gave them the resources they need, and she created an environment which they could win. And it was, Paul and Jody, but there's a guy named Bert Kold who deserves an enormous amount of credit because he was on that journey the whole time. Famous picture of him singing on election night while Paul's playing the guitar. And I've heard Bert sing, and only in victory people would appreciate his song.
So, Tod Leiweke with us here. So, the first question I think most Seahawks fans have is, what's going to happen next? And then more specifically, we have a lot of listeners that have been worried that this could in some way lead to the Seahawks leaving Seattle. There's obviously a lot of scar tissue there and the history with the Mariners and the Seahawks and obviously the Sonics. With your knowledge of the NFL, knowledge of the way all of this stuff works, is there any risk at all in the Seahawks leaving Seattle?
No. No, and if people need things to worry about, just jump online and get your head wrapped around real issues. That there is no possibility. The family has left this team in brilliant shape, and they did it in partnership with the citizens. The stadium is spectacular. It's been well maintained. It's been well cared for. The franchise has incredible following, not just here in Seattle, but across the world. This is a team that has a global following. It is at no risk of leaving. And I think they've set it up to win it. You have winners running the franchise. You have Chuck Arnold. You have John Schneider. And what we saw in the Super Bowl, I think the best is still yet to come. I think this is a team that's going to compete for many years to come at the highest level. And it's a super exciting thing.
Todd, from your life experience, Tod Leiweke here with us, from your experience and even working in the NFL back there in New York, what are the next steps for the fan to kind of pay attention to and look at, and maybe the timing of it? How does this unfold from your experience from here?
Well, I think that the winning ways here, specifically this season, set up a sale where the seller does have, there's some leverage there where you're going to be able to make sure you get the right people to lead this. They're going to achieve incredible proceeds for the incredible work of the foundation. And, you know, I'm not sure. I think this is totally unprecedented that a business like this, over the tenure of their ownership, reaches such a pinnacle, and the ultimate outcome is that it's going to benefit charity and giving and the arts and the incredible work. You know, the Alan Brain Institute, I remember Paul taking me through it. He had just had a board meeting on the Alan Brain Institute, and I was next up on a schedule, and I felt extremely humbled to be talking about the things we were talking about relative to the incredible work they did mapping the brain and taking this incredible data and disseminating it broadly. And there was nothing proprietary about what he wanted to do to impact the world. It was incredible. And now the foundation's literally going to have billions and billions and billions more in resource to continue their work. It is an incredible, epic tale. And one could have not imagined it, I think, in the beginning of the journey, and it's all come true.
You think it's more epic than you and me throwing horseshoes up there at the lodge, at Kulik Lodge this last summer? More epic or
Well,
less?
that was
me
we
screaming at the
were doing
Bears,
more
me
than
hanging out with Schwartzy, me
beer.
trying to get Schwartzy a new contract right there at the table. Like, do you think that tale was more epic than what we got to do?
Well, I think it had some epic parts to it, but I think in the totality, no, it doesn't compare.
Probably
to
right.
Okay,
Probably
but
right.
you know, I mean, to tell you the truth, I felt emotion in what I just said because I just think that this is a one-of-one story, maybe in the history of sports, where a team goes from almost leaving a city to becoming an incredible winner, and upon the sale, the money is going to go back to make the world a better place. You buy into dreams, you buy into principles. Sometimes it doesn't always happen, but in this case, I think it did. And it is an incredible thing. So fans, worry not about the team leaving. Celebrate this ownership group. Celebrate everything that Paul and Jody have done. Bert, Chuck, John Schneider, Mike McDonald, those players, the pride that it now means to pull that jersey on, it's just a heck of a deal.
Todd, what makes a great owner?
Well, I think I think some of that is situational for what a team might need at that point in time. What the Seahawks needed was to be saved. They needed a statewide campaign, and they needed an owner who had the resource to say, I will if you will. And he basically made a proposition. But, you know, Paul wanted to win. And, you know, I had some defining moments with him. I remember presenting the plans for the team headquarters, and his nodding his head. Anything that the winning and better results, they were always supportive of. And I think that a lot of credit goes to Paul, but upon his passing, which was a very sad day, you saw that Jody had real commitment to that same formula. And you could see that it was something that the family deeply believed in, because the reboot from that team, the trade that Schneider made to what was then created on the other side of it is really also extraordinary. This team didn't miss a beat, didn't really go through a prolonged down period to reboot. And I think John Schneider has been allowed to do his best work, and the body of work speaks for itself relative to the owners. I think if you say what makes a great owner, this might be the case study.
Do you still chuckle a little bit?
But I will say this. I think Seattle is blessed with great ownership. And I start with Samantha Holloway, who, you know, we're doing a little project called Memorial Stadium. It is the biggest community project I've ever been involved in. It involved real risk, and she did it without flinching, and she is a great owner. John Stanton is a heck of an owner, and you saw what happened with that team. My great pal, Adrian Hanauer, is a great owner. The Storm pioneered women's sports right here in Seattle. I mean, Seattle has been blessed with really great owners. And I think, with all due respect to Ken Behring, that was the last that was a very scary thing for Seahawks fans. There's no fear now of that going forward. And who knows, maybe someday, the other wrong gets righted here and the NBA comes back because Seattle is truly one of the greatest sports markets. And what that means is we have the best fans in the world, I think. I think our fans, for the Seattle Kraken, our fans have just been incredible. And I think that's true up and down the board for Seattle sports fans.
What is the NFL's role in this process now? I mean, I understand the trust has to take the highest bid, but what is the league's role in helping to vet and or choose a potential owner?
Well, eventually it'll go to the league for approval, and the owners themselves approve that transaction. And I think they've had a pretty good track record here of ensuring not just the proper economics surrounding a transaction that looks out for the interest of, yes, the teams and the owners, but also making sure that the right people are involved. And, they're dealing from a position of strength. The league is doing so incredibly well. During my time there, you'd read these stories about, the ratings are collapsing. Well, they never collapsed. They had some period of time there where they might have been down a few points, but the ratings are now better than ever. The league is incredibly strong, and they'll want to be thoughtful about making sure that the right people are now engaged to lead this, and it is a great privilege, and so that's only to be expected.
You mentioned the great ownership of Samantha Holloway and the group that you work with there at the Kraken. Is this something that they would likely be interested in?
By the way, I'm on a 2-week holiday, so I'm not taking any
Well, I got to ask.
Yeah. I am actually a long way away from where you guys are. My wife and I came to Spain during the Olympic break, and we did see, I digress, we did see something quite amazing on Monday night. We drove up to Girona, which is about 30 minutes away from where we're staying. And it was the second time we've seen Barcelona play in Girona. And I think Barcelona's new stadium might have more seats than there are citizens in Girona. And on both those games where we were there, Girona beat Barcelona. And we saw that Monday night. And again, it just fuels in me this passion I have for sport, of how sometimes with the right support and the right will, teams can do anything. And it was a joyous night. The game began late at 9 o'clock, but we were driving out of town that night, and I was like, wow, that might have been one of the coolest events I've been to in my career.
Hey, last thing here, Tom, thank you for taking time on your vacation as well, and just the storytelling and reinforcing what we already knew, which is just how amazing the Allen family has been for decades now. What was your thought bubble?
Brock, it's greater than people have even really fully vetted and considered. And with reflection, it's almost a fairy tale. Yeah. It's just an incredible outcome. And I get emotional thinking about it. There's some things I wish I had said to Mr. Allen at the end. I'm on vacation, but the chance to come on and help tell the story, I'm happy to do it.
Well,
Pardon my interruption there.
No, we appreciate it. I was just going to ask you about John Schneider, because I know that pairing of Pete and John, that you were a big part of that and in that process. And I'm just curious what the thought bubble is when you see John lift that Lombardi again, rebuild this whole thing again with a new coach and new people. Just kind of curious what thoughts come to your mind when it comes to Mr. Schneider.
Well, John never lost his Midwest and Wisconsin and Green Bay sensibilities, and I always love that about him. He's a guy who embraces humor. He's intense, but he loves to have fun. It's a guy I love having a beer with, and I just have great admiration. I think part of his journey was that he, at a very young age, got a lot of opportunities, and all earned because he worked hard. But then he got fired. And he was sent to not the back of the class, but the middle of the class. And he vowed that when he got that chance again, things would be different. And sure enough, he got that chance in Seattle. And it was Paul approving a plan. where, there was some pain there and there's some regret because there were some people that were let go that probably didn't deserve it. But the organization did need a reboot, and it was a fascinating reboot because the way that worked timing-wise is Pete Carroll literally helped pick his boss, and it really created a fascinating dynamic of those two being aligned. And they both did brilliant work, but I think John's body of work here in the last number of years has just been truly extraordinary, pulling off the trade he did for the quarterback. And on and on. What he's done with this roster is a case study in how to do it. And he's a delightful guy, loves life, and his best days are in front of him, I believe.
Well, Todd, you would have been proud of the Junior Kraken 12U girls who represented in Denver this past weekend. They did a heck of a job.
Fought their tails off.
Yep, they're getting ready to head up to Richmond in a couple of weeks as well. So they're carrying on the Kraken name and uniform everywhere they go with great class and dignity.
Is there any? That is a very hard life to be a hockey parent, going to those rinks at ungodly hours. The smell of the locker room, even the girls' locker room has the hockey bag.
Oh, yeah.
But I know you're a hockey guy.
My daughter stinks. She smells so bad. She's terrible.
Yeah. Well, and by the way, if you and I really want to do good, we need to get Brock out there on a pair of skates. We have those little, seals you push around the rink, and wouldn't you love to see him push one of those?
Well, I think we might need to put two seals together to get high enough for the 6'5" frame. I don't see him bending down enough to make that happen on one of the little blue seals. I did get Brock to a couple games, though. He watched a couple of the 12U games with me.
And it was a blast, and every team is jealous. They are so jealous of the Kraken when they walk in with your uniforms and represent your brand. It is awesome. Awesome to see.
Yeah, well, that's one of the great parts. And when you think back to the Seahawks about everything that Paul did, what you need to do is the rock thrown into the pond, but it was the ripple effects that were truly remarkable. And, it's in some ways, there is a little bit of sadness, I feel, for the passing of that ownership group, but it is a fairy tale. And more than anything, I hope it gets used as an example forever of how a franchise should conduct itself, because really he always believed that he didn't own it, but the fans did. And when you live by that creed, and not only did he live by it, he acted against it. And look at this. Look at what's happened here. It's just unbelievable.
Well, Todd, I'm glad you said that, and it comes back to the first word I used, which was stewardship, and it always felt like Paul and then Jody owned this team as stewards of the community, and I know that your group does that with the Kraken. I think we all just sincerely hope that whoever ends up buying this team has that same goal. I'm with you. There's no way they're going anywhere, but I think it's kind of a powerless feeling for fans, not knowing what the intentions or what the attitude will be of the next ownership group, and whether or not they will have that same thought of stewardship.
Well, a lot of times teams do get sold because of some duress or something. This is being sold, and I think the new owners, great pressure will be to keep up what Paul and Jody have done here and bring it on. And let's hold that owner to that test, because what's been done here is incredible. And whoever steps into it steps into an amazing situation with an incredible city, an incredible fan base, great leadership. Both John Schneider and Chuck, they're leading, and they're relatively young in their careers. The future is really bright. And I think the right owner will come in and say, how can I help sustain what we've already started here? And, a lot of that was Samantha for me. When her father passed, it was, every great team has a great owner, and I believe she's become a great owner, and her best days are also in front of her. So you see that, and I think Seattle's uniquely blessed with it, and I'm quite optimistic the right person's going to emerge, and I know Jody and her team will care about the economics, but they will care as much about somebody coming in and doing this right.
We thank you, Todd, especially being on vacation all the way in Europe. So thank you so much for spending a few minutes with us this morning and honoring Paul, honoring Jody, and helping us understand the future a little bit better. Good luck after the Olympic break. We'll be watching the U.S. women today, the U.S. men tomorrow, and we'll see where all this goes. Thank you so much.
Okay, guys. Take care. Nice
Thank you,
talking to
Todd. Have a great meal tonight, friends.
Bye-bye.
That is
I'm
awesome.
sure there's great meals to be had in Barcelona. There's Tod Leiweke, president and CEO of the Kraken, former president of the Seahawks, former president of the Lightning, former COO of the NFL, a guy who really knows what's going on. And I like how he just straight up laughed at the idea that the Seahawks are going anywhere. They're not, and that's really good news.
When Salk came and bedded down with the family earlier in the week, and you talked about, and we reminisced about 4 months in, and you sharing a Griffey take and all the connection you had. But one take you had from the jump as well is that the great owners understand it's a civic responsibility. And I think you hear there from Mr. Leiweke that nobody did it better. And even when it sells, the impact it's going to have for ages and ages and ages on really is, as he said, just a fairy tale, a storybook, storybook ending that you just can't write.
You're going to hear me use that word a lot, Brock, until this team is sold. Stewardship. If you want to own a sports franchise, you really need to think of it as a stewardship. And I've never understood owners who don't view it that way, especially in the community that they live in. Why would you ever want to taint your name? I mean, why not come at it with the idea of there's a million ways to make money, right? I know this is a very good one and a very profitable one that allows you into the club. But if you get the opportunity to own it as a steward for the region, what that does for your reputation, it feels like the right win for everybody. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll do some Blue 88 a little bit later, Brock. And then also, we got to play some Here's the Thing. Let's do that next. I feel like I've missed this so much. It's coming up on Brock and Salk.
I know the paint's barely dry on the new Super Bowl champ Seahawks gear, but can you believe Mariners pitchers and catchers have already reported and spring training is underway?
Holy catfish, that was fast.
They know from day one of spring training, they have a chance to win the whole thing.
Follow how the 2026 Mariners come together at seattlesports.com. We're the home of your American League West champion Mariners.
Holy smokes.
Seattle Sports.
That was such a great conversation about stewardship and ownership and the community. Well, for 24 years, I really believe that John Howie's done the same thing over at Sea Star Restaurant and Rod Bar. They have been Bellevue's and my go-to for fresh, seasonal seafood. You know what you count on? You count on John Howie's reputation for excellence behind every plate. He stewards incredible food. Local oysters, sushi, cedar plank salmon, Dungeness crab biscuit. It really doesn't matter. Generous portions with true value, and every detail is cared for. From the moment you walk in to the friendly thank you on your way out. And whether it's a date night, a business dinner, or catching up with friends and family, the welcoming atmosphere and the polished service make conversations flow easily, and everybody leaves impressed. And right now, you got an amazing deal. How about a 3-course dinner in the lounge every single night? From open to close, start at just $50. That's right. 3-course dinners in the lounge every night, $50. Sea Star, it's a dining experience you remember. SeaStarRestaurant.com.
Underestimating the trucking industry is one of the biggest mistakes I see victims and other lawyers make. Trucking companies have an army of lawyers and experts who act quickly after an accident to protect the company. Only an experienced trucking accident lawyer can navigate the complicated federal and state laws to protect your rights. If you or a loved one has been injured in a trucking accident, call Davis Law Group today for a free consultation or get my free book on trucking accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Spring training is here, and Toyota of Kirkland is throwing you nothing but fastballs down the middle. Step up to the plate on a new ride for the upcoming season with their incredible inventory and offers on Toyota favorites like the Prius, Tacoma, Camry, and Corolla. Their all-star team will get you set up with a test drive so you can round the bases and head home with that car the same day. Don't strike out on savings. Swing by Toyota of Kirkland today, just off I-405 on the Totem Lake exit, or visit online at toyotaofkirkland.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-917-5151. 800-917-5151. 800-917-5151.
P&D Tree Service, experts in local tree removal. Their team works fast to remove problem trees in your yard and neighborhood. Have you ever seen a tree removed by a crane? P&D Tree Services specializes in close-quarter tree removal to minimize impact on your landscaping. 24-hour emergency service. Any job, big or small. Safe, efficient, and fast. P&D Tree Service turns multi-day jobs into a few hours, saving you time and money. Enjoy a clean, safe, and bright yard. PNDTreeService.com.
I had pain, I had numbness in my feet. That pain and that numbness just got worse and worse and worse as time went on.
This is Greg describing life with neuropathy.
I went to 5 podiatrists, tried different treatments, tried different orthotics, tried different shoes, had cortisone shots in the tops and the bottoms of my feet. Saw a neurologist. All my medical doctors said, can't help you. Live with the pain. You're not going to be able to sleep. This is your life. And then I just gave up until I found Sound Pain Solutions.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, drug, and pain-free procedures that help neuropathy sufferers like Greg find relief.
I feel better. I mean, just feeling better is huge.
If you experience numbness, shooting or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
This is the power of 12 is 1, man.
KIRO AM Seattle and KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma.
Give me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Heward and Marcus. Sorry about just Mike.
Heward, not exactly Joe Cap there in the pocket.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
All right, well, that was fun to talk to Tod Leiweke, and hopefully, I know we've been saying it all morning, and hopefully it rests everybody's concern. Anybody who is in any way worried that the Seahawks are going to be leaving, somebody has tapped in as Todd, openly laughed at the idea. So don't sweat it. Anybody who's telling you that does not have any idea what they're talking about and is just looking for a little attention. That's fine, but it's not true. In the meantime,
by the way, I've got a great auction item.
Oh,
the
you
next
do?
time, yeah, we'll see if I can get Schneider and Leiweke to agree to it.
Oh, okay.
But a private room at Sea Star and having some food and drink with Todd and John and hearing 25 years of Seattle sports stories.
Oh, I'm sure you could pull that off, Brock. If anybody could pull it off, it's you.
For Holiday Magic. For Holiday Magic.
Sure. Yeah, just a couple bucks, no big deal. Let's see what the people have for us this week, and here's the thing.
Brock Heward doesn't just hate one kid.
I am so disappointed in Michael Salk.
You don't know what you're talking about. You're mindless. Love you, bye.
It's time for Brock and Salk's Here's the Thing.
Okay, here's the thing.
I remember all of these are messages left for us on the Seattle Sports app.
By the way,
start with.
By the way, lazy. Folks are lazy. You're just all basking in the glow of the Super Bowl Lombardi Trophy.
They're just enjoying. But yeah, we were a little thin.
A little weak this week? All right. Well, let's hear. Here's Cindy.
We also didn't do it for a couple weeks leading up to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We were annoyed by that.
Momentum.
No excuses, no explanations.
Might have lost the momentum, though.
That was fantastic. I have watched Kaylee on the Today Show, but never really knew much about her. That was actually an amazing interview. Thank you.
Wow.
You're welcome.
Did I hear that Brady's going to join us at 8:30? Did I hear that you guys were kind of trying to set Brady up?
With Kaylee Hartung, yeah.
Huh?
Of course, Brock was doing that.
Cupid's been known to do a few things.
All right.
My years.
You think you could make that happen?
Through my years. The owner.
Tell you what, tell her what Brady shot yesterday at the home course. You might impress her.
They've already met.
I think he was sub 75 yesterday.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. Here's Alex.
So here's the thing. I'm going to be the turd in the punch bowl here. I know we should all be happy that the Seahawks won the Super Bowl. This is just a friendly reminder that I know sometimes sports is a great distraction. Brock and Salk is a great distraction. Today's Valentine's Day, and my girlfriend just dumped me.
Oh,
so thank you guys for being a great escape. Thank the Seahawks for being a great escape. And
I'm sorry, Alex.
This sucks. This is my first breakup, too. Even at 31, this is my first breakup. How do I get over this?
Alex, I'm sorry, man.
Jeez.
Golly. I'm sorry, bro. Lean into your...
On Valentine's Day? Who dumped somebody on Valentine's Day?
Yeah, that's pretty hardcore.
Dude, if she dumped you on Valentine's Day, she wasn't the right person anyway. That's just obnoxious.
Yeah, unless you did something, that's pretty rough.
He doesn't sound
wait
like
another day.
He doesn't sound like he did something.
No.
At least that's just my
He didn't
gut
sound like that
intuition.
Norwegian guy that cheated on his girlfriend
No.
and tried to get her back.
No, that was just straight sad. Sorry, Alex. That's a bummer.
Alex.
Here's Trish.
I think Jody Allen, Mackenzie Bezos, and Melinda Gates should be a power team that buys the Seattle Seahawks. Wouldn't that be great?
Okay. Little power
Sure.
trio.
I'd be into that.
Huh?
Yeah.
Kind of fun. Some stories to tell amongst those three ladies. As well.
I would say so. I would say so.
Isn't Bezos' ex-wife like giving it all away? though?
Yeah.
She's trying to give it all, which is really admirable.
She's given away a lot of money.
Yeah.
Like a lot of money. For sure. All right, here's Brent.
Here's the thing. I have a proposal for a new tradition for Seahawk fans. Our household did it during the conference championship, and it worked, so it needs to be adopted universally. And Brock, you'll like this. It's akin to how at Husky Stadium, there's a big play, the crowd, woo, woo, you know? But for Seahawk fans, big play, I want all the chubs hitting them with a squawk, 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 squawk. I want our opponents to feel as helpless as a basket of French fries spilled into a Wendy's parking lot and being descended upon by 70,000 seabirds. Squawk!
No. Salk is speechless.
The St. Louis Battlehawks of the UFL have a great call.
I mean, I guess the one thing I would say about that is it is very annoying. And maybe it would bother the other team. The echo element of it was unexpected. Brent.
He had a contributor.
Please don't ever do that again. That was
phenomenal.
That was horrific. Here's Sam.
Salky, you are 100% correct about chapped lips. It's not a real thing. I stopped getting chapped lips as soon as I stopped using chapstick.
No kidding.
So, putting on my conspiracy theorist hat here, I think there's something in the chapstick
Fiberglass.
that causes the chapped lips. Basically, self-fulfilling prophecy.
100%.
You know, continuous cycle of revenue for the chapstick company.
Yeah.
Anyway, have a great day. Go Mariners. Go Seahawks.
Yeah.
Go Sonics. Go Huskies.
Thank
I'm
you.
out.
Yeah. Throw the Kraken in there.
No, you still. I don't use chapstick. I put Vaseline on my lips, and I still get chapped lips. It's a thing.
I don't get chapped lips.
Oh my god.
I never
Just
touched that
'cause
stuff.
I forgot that Salk's whole theory in life is if it doesn't happen to me, then it doesn't exist.
That's right.
We have to read the 425. Back to the Brady Kaylee Hartung thing. Says, can Brock make that happen? Let me ask you, Salk, is his password marriage? I believe in a thing called Brock. Just listen to the sound of the heart.
Lyle, you ever get chapped lips?
There were rumors.
Lyle, you believe in chapstick? You settle the debate here.
Yeah, I do. I use chapstick, not all the time, but when you need it.
Yeah, it works, right?
Or Blistex or whatever people use.
Sure.
Scam. There are rumors, by the way, that Kaylee Hartung dated Tim Tebow.
Really?
That'd be an interesting move to go from Tim Tebow to Brady. But does Tim Tebow live on a boat?
they met at the owners' meeting.
Right.
I think this could be an easy, hey, I heard you on Brock and
All right,
Salk.
we'll talk to Brady about this in 20 minutes. One last one. Here's Aaron in the Couve.
Here's the thing, Aaron in the Couve here. Hey, guys, cannot wait for you guys to get down to Peoria, give some great interviews, in-person interviews, and I'm sure the audio is going to be amazing. Go Mora. Probably better than the audio on Need to Know this morning. It sounded like Dan Wilson is talking into a shoebox. I'm not kidding. Yeah, we're just talking about how, the players are really treated like business like this year. They're just really good. Come on, guys. Got to get better audio. That's all right. Go Mariners.
All right, we've had this before because there was some bad Scott Service audio in the past too. I just want everyone to know that that audio gets put up by the team.
All right.
I have no control over if that audio is bad.
I wasn't sure if Aaron was upset with the audio or the
Well, no, I mean, sometimes
content.
they're not in a great area. Sometimes they're doing a post-game interview in a hallway or something. It just depends. Sometimes the audio is just bad and there's nothing
Our household
I can do.
did it during the commute work adopted. You feel like there's a big play. The crowd.
Here comes Mora.
I want all the 12s hitting them with a
Squawk, 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 squawk.
Can you flap your arms?
I want our opponents to feel as helpless.
Can you
I
imagine
feel
flapping
helpless
your
as
arms,
that's
too?
playing.
So imagine 70,000 flapping their arms.
No.
Squawk, 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 squawk.
No.
Squawk, 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 squawk.
I want.
We have multiple texts that said the squawking made them cry. I think laughing.
Kyle Brown is dying.
He doesn't like this. He doesn't like birds. He's not going to like that plan at all.
By the way, Aaron, I'll do better. The audio at spring training will be fine.
You sure?
Can you imagine the stress of Mora now?
No.
I mean, the sound is going to be having 4
I just have
checks.
plans to
She's gonna
save
go
them in
through.
3 different
Save
places.
and resave and resave and resave.
Mora's really had a couple of
It's messed
fascinating years down at spring training. Between killing that rabbit and then losing the Julio audio, we'll see what's in store for her this year. We'll be right back with everything you need to know next. It's Brock and Salk Seattle Sports on 710.
Bump and Stacy.
The NBA plans to announce that they're forming a committee to determine whether or not they're open to announcing it.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
Give Seattle a team. There's a lot of public outcry, including outside of Seattle. People see that as an injustice.
I'm just no longer feeding into just the chase. I'm just going to sit patiently and just wait for this thing to go down. I'm not going to stress over it. It's going to happen.
Only on Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Okay, so what is today? Today is Thursday morning, and if you're 62 or older, you hear my voice. You got lots of equity in your home, and you want to pull some cash out, but you don't want to go through a refinance or HELOC because that means a bigger payment. You don't really want to go through selling your home either. What should you do? Well, Brock Hewitt here for Tila Mortgage. You don't need to live at a lower standard than you deserve, I'll tell you that. And you really got 3 play calls. Number 1, you can sell your home. Number 2, you go in and dig into that HELOC or refinance. Or number 3, really pour into a reverse mortgage. Tila's done the analysis, and they believe a reverse mortgage is the most cost-effective way for seniors to get cash out of their home without selling and having the option of no monthly mortgage payment. Too good to be true? I don't think so. Give them a call today and compare. Tila, spelled T-I-L-A, is a name you could trust for truthful, honest, and ethical advice for all your mortgage needs. Give them a call, 206-766-8888. Mr. Duffy and crew are ready for you. 206-766-8888. Insurance and property taxes are borrower's responsibility. Tila Mortgage LLC is a mortgage broker. MLS 247-2046.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business. Powering possibilities.
Now through March 22nd, switch to Comcast Business and get started with 150 megabit internet plus Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Or ask how to lock in your rate for 5 years on a qualifying internet bundle and get a $500 prepaid card when you add 2 lines of mobile. For a limited time only. Call today. Restrictions apply. New customers only. Requires paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and other fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply.
Hey everyone, Rick Witters, owner of Cressy Door. At Cressy Door, we offer top-of-the-line garage doors, garage door service, and garage door repairs. From everyone here at Cressy Door, congratulations to the Hawks for winning the big game.
Text
enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text AREA to 42424 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text AREA to 42424. That's AREA to 42424.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Seattle Sports has your chance to win 2 tickets to see Santana and the Doobie Brothers at White River Amphitheater August 6th. Head to seattlesports.com/win to enter and see contest rules. That's seattlesports.com/win for your chance to win.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
How can you free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business. Smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com. This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Right now, save $16 on a pair of Rain-X Rugged XL wiper blades, plus get 2 times O rewards points only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ENJOY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Well, Brock, the Seahawks are up for sale. This has long been expected, rumored. Once the reports started to come out a couple weeks ago before the Super Bowl, it seemed like almost a fait accompli, and that's exactly where we're at now. The Seahawks will be sold. $7.5 billion, I think, is the number that I've heard is kind of a pretty good over-under. The Paul Allen estate will start this process by hiring a law firm, Latham & Watkins, an investment bank, Allen & Company, who will handle the sale. Seth Wickersham was on yesterday with Bump and Stacy.
There's very few purchases in this country that can generate not only cash on an annual basis, but watch the valuation skyrocket like NFL franchises. And I think that there would be somebody local who would want to be that person who owns the team for the community, kind of like what Robert Kraft did with the Patriots. Like, I could see a scenario like that. Jeff Bezos, I know that his name gets thrown around a lot. I'm really skeptical that he'll be part of this, but you never know. I mean, I think it's like that's the thing that could get interesting, and it looks like it's going to play out after, over quite a while. I mean, according to the statement, they expect it to take a little bit of time, and so that'll be interesting to see what happens.
And I know my friend, my dear friend, developers. Developers. I know that he loves basketball, but I do wonder if he could go back and look at where he wanted to invest his billions and billions and billions. And he's still got, Mr. Ballmer, some 40 billion. Like, he's got a lot of billions. If he would have had that to do over again, NBA, NFL, and who knows? Maybe the trust. And I know that there were times that relationship was a little rocky, from what I've heard.
Yeah,
between
I don't
him
know,
and
man.
Paul.
I have heard that one is not all that likely, but we'll see. As I mentioned earlier, sort of helpful to look at people that have made unsuccessful attempts to purchase franchises recently. That brought up the name Matt Ishbia from Phoenix, who tried to buy the Broncos. There's another group, Jose Feliciano and Badad Egbali, who also tried to buy the Broncos. Steve Apostolopoulos, which I love to say, he tried to buy the Commanders. Obviously, Samantha Holloway here locally. So, yeah, there are a lot of names that will be discussed here over the course of the next few weeks and months before eventually this gets done. But as we know, and we said it earlier, and then I think it was very much confirmed by Tod Leiweke, who joined us at 7:30, the team's not going anywhere. We don't know who the owner is going to be, and I don't know that they're going to do a better job than what we've had here for the last few decades, but they're not going anywhere. They're going to remain right here in Seattle.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Little move yesterday for the Mariners as they bring back Mitch Garver, Brock, to sign a minor league deal as a backup catcher. So he's not guaranteed to make the team. If he does, I think he gets like $2.25 million salary, which is pretty reasonable for a backup catcher. That's essentially like a veteran league minimum kind of a salary. So, yeah, I think that makes sense. Andrew Kisner is a complete unknown. It's not Knizner. It's Kisner. No.
Knife.
Don't try to distract me. Makes sense, right? I mean, don't you just need somebody you trust as a backup catcher?
Well, let's just see them compete, too. Let's see if Mr. Kinzer can hit at all. That's been problematic for him in his past, and very problematic for Garver to hit righties, but he's pretty good against lefties, and the guys seem to like him. Right? I think he's got a lot better rapport in there than maybe he has energy-wise with you and me in particular. So,
well, that went down yesterday. Meanwhile, the union hires Bruce Meyer. He will be the new head of the union, replacing Tony Clark.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Let's see. Hockey update. U.S. men beat Sweden yesterday in overtime, and the Canadian men beat Czechia. How are we pronounce it? Because this is the Czech Republic, but it's now something different. It's a little confusing. In any event.
Czechia.
Is it?
That's what I've heard. Czechia.
Okay. I thought it was Czechia.
Really?
I don't know, man.
I think it's squawk!
It's definitely not that. Let's see. Canadians will play Finland. U.S. will play Slovakia. And then the winners will meet in the finals. U.S. women play Canada. Gold medal game in just a couple hours, 10 past 10. Hillary Knight playing for another gold, Brock.
I think what's super special is having an opportunity to cement the legacy of this team and, what we're about. And, it just evokes so many emotions to be able to think that we have an opportunity to do that. And this is such a special group. And I'm really excited that we get to kind of share it with the world and hopefully cement that legacy together.
So she plays for the Torrent. She is their captain. She is the U.S. captain. She's the most decorated female hockey Olympian from the U.S. of all time. This would make her 5th medal and 2nd gold if they win today.
Let's go. 10 a.m. right after the show ends. Salk will be zipping to that. And then at noon today, I tried, by the way. You would have appreciated my efforts.
Oh, yeah?
I tried with Diamond Dave Pearson. I said, hey, how about a little warm-up act for the new OC? Brian Fleury is going to have a presser with Mr. McDonald at noon. I said, how about a little warm-up act at 9:30 today on the old Brock and Salk show? And he said, how about a no?
Oh. How come?
So,
well, not very nice.
Yeah, that's okay. You got to take your shot. I'm not bothered in any way.
All right.
But I tried. So we'll get to know the OC today, and it looks like Justin Otten is going to stick around as well. He'll be the run game coordinator, the run game specialist a year ago. Will stick around and be the run game coordinator, which is pretty good.
Pretty cool.
Continuity that we talked about, sticking around.
All right, that is everything you need to know. We do that every morning, every hour, quarter past every hour. Hillary Knight did get engaged, Brock, by the way, at the Olympics, which is pretty great.
Love is Bryce
in.
Miller got engaged. Love is in the air. I can't wait to talk about love. We talk about love with the Seahawks, and we get to now talk about love with Logan Gilbert, his wife, his kid. Bryce Miller's engaged. Kirby's engaged. Just love is everywhere.
Yeah.
Love is in the air.
Brady's gonna love this. This is gonna be just great. Poor guy comes on to talk about the Seahawks sale and some of the big decisions that are about to get made.
He knows what he's in store for.
Yeah, he kind of does. He's known us long enough to know where this goes. Brady Henderson talking Seahawks with us next on Brock and Salk.
I know the paint's barely dry on the new Super Bowl champ Seahawks gear, but can you believe Mariners pitchers and catchers have already reported and spring training is underway?
Holy catfish, that was fast.
They know from day one of spring training, they have a chance to win the whole thing.
Follow how the 2026 Mariners come together at salelsports.com. We're the home of your American League West champion Mariners.
Holy smokes!
Seattle Sports.
All right, yes, the championship trophy is certainly back in Seattle. So nice to have it here where it belongs. So that big game clearly in the rear view after the parade. The next big moment, well, it's opening day, right? Well, let's try to make a little commitment right now to look and feel your very best by then. You could lose 20, 30, 40, maybe 50 pounds like a lot of other folks. Do it by the start of baseball season. That starts by calling Eastside Weight Loss Clinic, where a 15-minute phone call is all it takes to get started. Look, I did this. I lost 10 pounds in a week. I lost 35 pounds in just 8 weeks. So if you've got some poundage to lose, this is your chance, man, and it really is not that hard. No pills, no injections, no fake box meals, nothing like that. It's all real food that you buy at the grocery store, but it's got really great recipes, the coaching, the support, the accountability. It works. Do it for yourself this year. Book your 15-minute consult at eastsideweightlostclinic.com. Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
When you buy a new vehicle from Lee Johnson, you'll get a lifetime powertrain warranty included.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877 Cars for Kids to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
That same Louisiana flavor y'all love about our chicken? It's flawless. Yeah, we did that to crispy Alaskan flounder and butterfly shrimp too. We just couldn't help ourselves. But we didn't stop there. You can add lemon pepper or garlic parmesan rub to that shrimp. Now we only do seafood every so often, so you know what to expect.
Popeyes can't miss.
That's right. The seafood menu is back
This is real fish.
at participating restaurants.
Compassion, communication, results. That's Pendergast Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Go to pendergastlaw.com. That's pendergastlaw.com.
See your favorite Seattle Mariners up close at the Peoria Sports Complex. Come to sunny and warm Peoria, Arizona to celebrate an AL West championship and the beginning of another great season for your Mariners. Spring training in Peoria has plenty of sunshine, warm temperatures, great food, and the best seats in baseball. It's family fun for fans of all ages. Book your trip today. Support your 2026 Seattle Mariners in Arizona for what promises to be another exciting season. Get your tickets at peoriabaseball.com.
New siding doesn't have to break the bank. We offer affordable options that add value and protection to your home. This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. And while we're at it, ask about our roofing, windows, decking, and gutter services for even more savings. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule your free siding inspection. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
State Roofing, the best roof you'll ever need.
That's another amazing run by Team USA.
Mom, think I'll be on Team USA one day?
Well, I'll take this one.
What? Are you speaking to us?
Yes, and to answer your question, anything's possible, especially with Xfinity.
So, I can be the best snowboarder ever?
Well, I can't guarantee that, but Xfinity can guarantee that your internet price won't change for 5 years.
Okay. What if I practice every day?
Then maybe you'll be snowboarding for Team USA at the next Olympic Winter Games. And Mom, you'll still be paying the same price for Wi-Fi.
Ooh, really stuck the landing there.
It's the Xfinity Gold Medal Celebration. Now through February 22nd, get our best price on gig Wi-Fi for 5 years guaranteed, just $50 a month. Plus, get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. That's a $10.99 value per month. Xfinity. Imagine that. Proud partner of Team USA. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Actual speeds vary.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, Brady Henderson going to join us in just a couple of minutes.
Abundantly clear.
Whoa, what?
Let me make something abundantly clear. Okay? This was not me. In fairness to my comments, as Jim Mora would like to say, in fairness to me,
fairness to my comments,
it was Kaylee Hartung that brought up that she was single. She was 40. She was looking for a partner like Mike McDonald was to Stephanie. That kind of love. That's what she. I didn't stir this up.
True love.
Yes, true love, Salk.
True love. Yes.
So I just want to make sure, in fairness to me and my comments about being Cupid.
So you're saying that you are not in any way responsible for the conversation?
And then actually further, Mike
occur.
Lefko texted during that segment with Brady and me and Kaylee and said, well, come on, Cupid, do your thing, shoot your arrow.
Right.
So, we'll see. I think Brady's down. I don't know. I don't want to speak for him, but there's an owners meeting in Phoenix in a couple weeks or whenever that is in March. I mean, I could certainly, try like, hey, Kaylee, I hope you have a great time. Say hi to Steph. And oh, by the way, Brady will be there.
Is this what happens, Brady? You come on the show and by the end of it, Brock's trying to find you a date?
Oh, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about?
Kaylee Hartung.
What about it?
You were there. I was there, Brady. She was there. She made comments about being single and 40 and looking for love like Mike and Steph have together. And yeah, I thought, and then Lefko kind of, nudged me a little bit to try to be Cupid. And so if you want any of my help, as you get ready for the owners meeting in Phoenix in March, if you want me to shoot a little text, hey, thanks for coming on again. Oh, by the way, Brady, who was on with me, is going to be down at the owners meetings. Hope you guys get a chance to say hello.
Well, look, I'll take all the help I can get. I think, if you go back and look at the video of that interview, when she said that, I'm pretty sure I made a face, like my face perked up, like, oh, you don't say. Anyways, moving on. What do you guys want to talk about?
Mostly that, I would say, to be honest, Brady.
Hey, Lyle, go find that tape, would you?
Yeah.
Go scroll back the video from 2 weeks ago.
We don't need to do that.
I want to talk about that. I want to talk about your 74 yesterday at the home course, and Eagle on 16.
What?
I want to hear a little bit about that. But no, well, let's start with, the fact that the Seahawks are going to get sold. What do we know, and what do we expect to know soon?
Yeah, well, the sale process formally began yesterday, and I don't know if we're going to hear a whole lot soon necessarily, although, I thought it was interesting. The statement kind of laid it out there that this is probably not going to be finalized before the start of next season, and I think the reason for that is not necessarily because it's going to take that long for, bids to come in. I think, I don't think this news, like anybody who is in position to potentially buy an NFL team, they probably knew that this was going to happen. They did not need ESPN or anybody else reporting it. So I don't think this news snuck up on any potential buyers. What ends up taking a long time is the vetting process, right? So the offer has to be vetted, if you can imagine, how long it takes for a $900,000 home in Wallingford to close, well, imagine what a, $7-8 billion NFL franchise takes. So the offer itself has to be vetted, depending on who the buyer is. If he has a lot of minority owners, every single one of those minority owners has to get vetted as well. I talked to John Keim, who covers the Washington Commanders for ESPN, and they were, of course, got sold a few years ago. And, I asked him what kind of the timeline was for that sale, and it was about 8.5 months from when the team was first announced. The team first announced that it was going to be put up for sale, and when the league announced that, Josh Harris is going to be the new owner. So that time frame, you're looking well into the start of next season. You're looking at, next October or whatever it is. Again, if depending on who the buyer, if Jeff Bezos were to come in and say, hey, I'll give you $10 million for the Seahawks, well, Jeff Bezos is not going to need any minority owners. And so the vetting process is going to be a lot quicker. So it does depend on who the buyer is, but that kind of gives you an idea of the potential timeline. And that's why I think the statement said, this is estimated to go through the 2026 offseason.
Brady, is there an article to be written? And Tod Leiweke joined us last hour. And if you listen to that interview, he makes a very strong case that, he didn't say these exact words, but you can take that there's never been greater owners in the history of professional sports than the Allen family, and then the foundation and the trust, because all these proceeds are going to be charitable and go to philanthropic needs afterwards. So not only the decades of leadership and the Super Bowls and the winning and the brand and the buildings, on top of it, when you sell, those billions and billions and billions are going to pour back into the good of the people. Can you make an article? Can you write an article that this may be the greatest ownership run in the history of sports?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times we judge owners based on, the bad things that they do, right? And there's never been, any sort of that. The Allens have handled themselves, just comported themselves wonderfully, on top of being just great stewards of the organization. And, I think the fact that all of this is going to charity, I think that, to me at least, that makes me wonder about just a potential wrinkle in the sale. Like, this is not, Jody Allen is not trying to, make a personal profit off of this sale. And I do wonder if that maybe puts her in position and puts the estate in position to, not necessarily go to the highest bidder if they feel like, if it's close and they feel like, the second ownership group would be better owners. That makes me wonder if they would be in position to maybe sell the team to that ownership group. Now, that said, there's just not that many people who have the funds to do this. So maybe it won't even come to that, but that's just, that's something I wondered about, just given the nature of the sale.
I don't know, man. I actually think that tells me the opposite, would be my guess. That if she was selling for her own profit, she would be able to have a little bit more leeway on making decisions for the good of the community in addition to, the good of her pocket. But if it's going to charity, it would, I think, mean that they're under some obligation to maximize the amount of money that's going to charity.
Well, I think you're also under the obligation to leave the franchise in the best hands possible. So, I mean, I don't know. This is, it's tough to know what exactly is stipulated in the will, but you could make an argument the other way, I think.
And the NFL will probably have a little say in their co-op.
I would imagine.
Well.
Yeah, I would imagine. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what's going on with the actual team right now. Somehow this Ken Walker thing has turned into a big national story. What do you think happens there? And is he the right first conversation to have, or is there another free agent that we should be talking about first?
Well, in terms of guys, yeah, I mean, Rashid Shaheed or Ken Walker, I think it's either one of those guys. I mean, it's not surprising that it's become a big story with him just when you talk about a Super Bowl MVP. The interesting thing to me about his situation is, I think it's going to come down to what the Seahawks' ideal role for him is compared to what his market is. And, he showed a lot of durability this season and, played in all 20 games, was hardly on the injury report. Not a lot of running backs get better as the season went on, but he did, culminating with that MVP performance. You could also make an argument that part of the reason why he was as fresh as he was because they, limited his workload and he was sharing the work with Zach Charbonnet. So is there going to be some team or multiple teams that view him as, okay, you're a number one guy who can, touch the ball 20, 25 times a game. And if that's the case, I don't know if the Seahawks would play ball with that. No one, they know his injury history better than anybody else. The other interesting part of that is they're not going to have their number two guy or that other half of that rushing attack for probably the second half of next season at the earliest, I would imagine. So that is another complicating factor. But I think just one of the interesting aspects of this whole situation is Walker's workload, and what is his market going to look like relative to what his ideal workload would be going forward in Seattle. He showed in the playoffs that he can handle it, but is that 3-game sample enough for the Seahawks or anybody else to think that this is a true like a clear-cut number one guy who's going to be worthy of that $10+ million a year contract?
Was it Schefter that tweeted out that the Seahawks won't franchise him? Is that your understanding as well?
I mean, if Schefter tweeted it, it's accurate. I have no doubt about that. And I had wondered if maybe that could be in play for them. I mean, we all know the Seahawks franchise tag history. They do not like to use it, and it eats up a ton of your cap space, and you don't get to spread out the cap charges like you do on a multi-year deal. I wondered if just the situation they're in with no Zach Charbonnet until, again, probably the second half of next season. You don't have a lot of draft picks, I think it's 4 draft picks, to spend on maybe you spend that on an early round running back if you have to, but, there's other needs there. So I wondered if the franchise tag could come into play, but Schefter says no. And so, they're going to have to work out a multi-year deal if they're going to get him back.
Can you help me understand, is there still a transition tag? Is there still another way to go about that as they tried to do with Hutchinson decades ago? Is any of that in play?
I mean, technically, yes, it would be in play, but Schefter said no tag of any kind. So the transition tag, just for people who don't know, I mean, that comes in at a lower number than the franchise tag. The franchise tag is projected to be around $14.5 million. Transition tag is probably somewhere $10-11 million. And the key difference there, in addition to the price being lower, is that you would not get any sort of draft pick compensation, if another team wanted to sign that guy. So it basically would just be securing that guy's, securing like exclusive negotiating with him. But, you rarely see transition tags happen anyways. And Schefter said that they're not going to do that.
What's the market look like for Boye Mafe?
Probably bigger than people realize. Yeah. And, part of that is just the simple fact that when free agents from a Super Bowl team, especially one with the best defense in the NFL, when those guys hit the market, people want to pick off pieces of that success. And there is kind of a tax that comes with that. He also, what's interesting about Mafe is if you just look at like pressure numbers and pass rush win rate, he's up there. I mean, I believe last time I checked, he was in the top 10 in terms of edge rushers in pass rush win rate. So the question obviously is, why does that pressure and all those quick get-offs, Mike McDonald at one point said that's his superpower, is just those instant wins off the line of scrimmage. Why don't those translate into sacks? That's a question that teams are going to have to ask, but I think that there is enough of a resume there and enough of those, he's really good at getting pressure, even if he's not great at, finishing plays, finishing that pressure with sacks. But I would not surprise me if he gets a contract worth $10+ million a year. That would not surprise me at all.
Well, I would rather have Boye Mafe for $10+ million a year than Ken Walker for $10+ million a year. So why are we not hearing much along the lines of the Seahawks bringing back Boye Mafe?
Well, that's what you would do. I'm not sure if that's necessarily what the Seahawks would do. Remember, there was a report from, I think it was Schefter, that, they had a deal in place with Kansas City to potentially trade him. So that tells me that he's just a guy that they've identified as, knowing that you've got to make tough decisions. You got other guys that you've got to pay, and you're not going to be able to keep everybody. That sort of tells me that he's a guy that they have identified as somebody who just is not going to be part of their long-term plans, knowing that it's going to cost more than they're going to be willing to pay. I think the other thing is you are pretty stacked there in terms of not necessarily stacked, but you've got enough on the edge there to where you can, afford to replace that guy with a draft pick, knowing that, now I say all that, and I'm not positive that DeMarcus Lawrence is going to come back next season because, he flirted with retirement. So I'm sure that they would love to have clarity on that before they make any sort of decisions on Mafe. But that is one thing that could potentially change those plans. But I think that he just strikes me as a guy that Mafe strikes me as a guy that they've identified as somebody who's just going to get more money than they're going to be willing to pay.
Brady, this may sound like a humble brag, and I don't mean it to, but there were some stretches in my life where my wife Molly was like, "Are you doing okay? Like you're just running, right? You're doing games, doing the radio, just you're running too fast, too hot. Can you sustain this?" Brady, I'm worried about you, just as a mother. Like, are you okay? Like, this is like the longest journey ever. And then the news never stops. You have a press conference to go to at noon today. You got the combine. You got the legal tampering period. You got the drag. Do you feel like you got your rest?
I feel great. I feel wonderful. I appreciate the concern. Yeah. I mean, I was pretty tired. There was one of those days once I got home, maybe it was like Wednesday night, where I got home. Maybe it was the day of the parade. I got home at like 6:30, and I slept for like 11 hours straight, and then that's all I needed. So I'm back. I'm ready to go.
Oh, you're good?
I'm not going to the combine, by the way. I'm going to the owners' meetings, but not the combine.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Good. Because it's Salk.
It
just never stops.
No,
the news
does.
never stops.
How about Max Crosby? Is there Max Crosby news to be discussed?
What's that?
Should we be talking about Max
Hold on,
Crosby?
He was going to say something. Go ahead, Brady. Before the Max Crosby nonsense.
I was just telling everybody how much I appreciate Brock. He's trying to find me a girlfriend.
Right.
He's worrying about my stress levels and all that. What a guy.
Yes. Okay. Just running hot like year round. I don't know if that's sustainable. Salk, guess what? Last year it was Trey Hendrickson. Now he wants Max Crosby. We good? Oh, good. Okay. Trey Hendrickson talked for 9 months last year. Now, are we going to have months and months of Max Crosby conversation?
No, I'm just going to keep focusing on the things that are important. You guys can talk about running backs, and I'm going to keep talking about the defense, the thing that, actually won them the Super Bowl and was their, most important factor in the season this year.
And actually didn't need Trey Hendrickson. They ended up being just fine, Salk.
I know that, but if you're letting Boye Mafe go and you don't know what's going on with DeMarcus Lawrence, and Derek Hall's going to be a free agent next year, and Chenna Nwosu's not getting younger.
And they loved Max a year ago.
I think it's worth asking
Gino
about
and DK
Max.
for him.
So what's the deal, Brady? Should we be talking about Max?
Well, I think we were on the golf course last year, and I asked you, have you guys talking about Trey Hendrickson at all, about that possibility? And you hadn't really thought about it, and then that became your thing. So I don't want to, tell you that, yes, you should be talking about Max Crosby, and then that becomes your thing for the next 3 months.
Please don't. Please don't.
But, I mean, why not? It certainly seems like the relationship is at a point in Vegas to where, seems like there's a decent chance, or at least maybe a strong chance, that he gets moved. I mean, the contract is pretty significant. Remember, when the Seahawks were, discussing that, and look, I think there was a point, albeit a brief point, where they thought that was a very real possibility at the Combine when they were discussing that with Las Vegas, and, the Raiders ultimately, put the kibosh on it. But there was a point there where they thought that there was a good chance that was going to happen. Well, since then, he signed a new contract, and that does complicate it because the contract, if you just look at the base salary for this coming season, $30 million. And, so there would have to be something to be done about that. So that would be one complicating factor. But, I mean, the bottom line is, they've got to get somebody else in there. Again, I don't think Boye Mafe is going to be back. DeMarcus Lawrence is 33, and he flirted with retirement last offseason. He also his wife just had, I think, their 6th child, which was born right after the Super Bowl. So if there was ever a situation where a guy might decide to, ride off into the sunset, this could be it.
He needs to play as long as possible. You can't.
The other way. Maybe keep
he needs the money, and he needs to be out of the house for the next couple of years. This guy might play till he's 40.
You guys both know this better than I do. Sometimes that's not really your decision. That is your decision.
Also true.
So, Brady, what do you think you hear more drinking game? Hendrickson last year with Salk on nearly every show for 3 months, or how many times will the word complimentary come up between McDonald and Fleury at the press conference at noon today?
Yeah, I probably set the over/under at 5, and now you gotta if we're gonna play this game, you've got to include all adjacent phrases to complimentary, right? Not just the word itself, but anytime he refers to complimentary football in any, however language he wants to use it, then I would take the over. I would take over 5.
Yeah.
So how did the Eagle go on 16 the other day? Let me see if I understand. How did the Eagle go?
Well, I was aided by some winds. I was downwind, hit a really good drive on 16 at home course, kind of right side rough, and had only 205 yards out, and took a hybrid and had to choke down on it, so I was on the slope, and 33 feet away, I walked it off, and I made the putt for eagle. And I think I tweaked my back while fist pumping afterwards. So that's just how it goes when you're 39 years old.
You didn't get the chest bump afterwards? I thought eagles got chest bumps.
No, you were the first person I thought of, Mike. Yeah, you were. No, in fact, nobody was there to see it.
Oh, well, that's just sad. Brady, appreciate it. Thank you. Hopefully, Brock will reward all of this with a.
We'll be in touch after.
Yeah, a little setup deal or something.
When are the owners' meetings? Mid-March, late March?
I think it's late March. Yeah.
Late March. Okay, I can't leave roses when we're down there next week. It won't last a month.
Just a little too long. All right. Thank you, Brady. We appreciate you.
All right. Thanks, guys. See you.
All right. There you go. The great Brady Henderson here on Seattle Sports. You can read him on ESPN. Of course. He's the best.
I just love that guy.
He is a great dude.
And he's gotten so good at this. And again, it's so fun. Tod Leiweke joined us last hour, went in the Wayback Machine, thinking through all these memories, getting to hang out, frankly, with Todd and a bunch of folks up at the Kulik Lodge last summer in Alaska, brought back a lot of it. But think about where Brady was when he was here with us in this building, and just a grinder and just an absolute worker and attention to detail.
It's all true. He deserves every bit of this.
Yep.
I got to tell you, this Boye Mafe, Ken Walker thing's driving me a little crazy.
Okay.
I'm not going to spend hours and hours talking about Max Crosby. If it happens, cool. If not,
right.
That's not my passion this year. But I just don't understand. If you tell me I can have either of and look,
I think they're telling you, Salk,
it's $20 million a year.
Salk, they're telling you by not franchising, transitioning K9, they're telling you right now that they're like-minded with you. We're not going big on this. And if you go to market and you get 4 years, 48, like Josh Jacobs did in Green Bay, God bless you. We'll get a third-round compensatory.
Because to me, the Mafe one is a real conversation. Yes. At $10 million a year, you want to talk about Boye Mafe? Yeah, I do. Now, if it's actually $15 or $20 million a year, then obviously that changes the math on that. And it probably, he has limits as a player, which we've seen. Yes. But, if there was a free agent out there that played the edge and you were saying, well, he's young and the one thing he does great is he wins off the line of scrimmage really quickly. We're not sure why that hasn't translated into as many sacks, but he's really quick and he gets off the line of scrimmage and he sets an edge pretty well and he's supposed to be a really great guy who his teammates really love and he's got a good story. Wouldn't we all sit here and say, let's be interested in that guy? What does it cost?
Yes, but don't you also sit here and say they know this guy better than anybody
Absolutely.
else?
So I'm not going to freak out about it.
And for 4 years, Salk, they have worked, they have developed, they have tried to continue to grow. I think the instinctual part to the game that has just never fully clicked. The run, stopping, setting edge standpoint is good. It's not elite. It's not great. And like a lot of free agents, and especially young ones, right, that you let go of, you feel like you got their best football. If they felt like there was 4 more years and he was going to do nothing but ascend and become one of the great players in the game, they're not letting him walk.
Right.
Just like Reek Woolen. Other markets are going to look at Reek Woolen and they're going to look at the next level stats and they're going to look at the contested catches and they're going to look at a 4.28 and they're going to look at 6'3". And all the other markets don't know that player.
It's the position, though,
like
Brock.
It's
the position and the importance of depth at that position. We know how vital it is. We know how important it is to keep bringing guys off the edge in waves.
Yep.
And
we
I get
know
it.
that Mike McDonald, and we know this, and I'll just give you this other side of it. Sorry to cut you off. We also know that Mike McDonald in Baltimore was able to take Jadeveon Clowney and Kyle Van Noy and those guys and turn them into career years.
And obviously did the same thing here with DeMarcus Lawrence.
That he has done the same thing here for 2 years with it.
And Chenna once he was healthy as well. So again, I'm not freaking out, but it just surprises me, and I just it feels like this foregone conclusion without even much of a conversation. Versus, for whatever reason, the one thing that just keeps driving me crazy is, well, this guy's Super Bowl MVP. I just don't want to hear it. No. He is absolutely a worthy Super Bowl MVP, and he deserves every second of it. But you don't sign a guy because he was the Super Bowl MVP. You sign him for what he's going to do in the future.
Some of this is just that nationally people know Ken Walker more, and there's the franchise tag.
Yes.
I don't think that means the Seahawks aren't talking about Boye Mafe.
I agree with you more. Yes, nationally, you're right. But here locally, we've still barely mentioned it. No, I was off, so maybe I would have mentioned his name if I was working over the last week. I just want to kind of put in, I guess really what I'm doing is just kind of stating for the record that I want to put in a little plug for Boy Mafe.
Okay.
I think what
Are you
he's
putting
done.
You're putting it into the records?
I would like it, yes, marked into the record, please.
Lyle, he's marking that into the record.
Lyle,
Can
do you
put
know
that-
who records what job it is to record something into the record?
A record recorder? Dude, no. Like, people don't do this anymore.
A stenographer?
No.
Yes.
That's not a real thing.
Like in a court case?
Yes.
You know, the person that types everything out?
Yeah, a stenographer. I would like the stenographer to note that we should at least be talking about Boy Mafe a little bit rather than just Ken Walker.
Who's talking about you?
I am. I'm talking about Boy Mafe. I'm doing it right now.
When are we going to do Blue 88? Can we do Blue 88 next? I got some good stuff.
God, I got so many things to do. We got Blue 88. I got Brendan Donovan's stuff. We've been talking football all day. I know you got your Q rating thing.
Yes.
All right, I'll tell you what. I'll talk Brendan Donovan tomorrow. We'll do Blue 88 next. We'll do Q rating at 9:30, okay? Nice. Does that work for you?
I love it live.
It's all
We'll do
coming
it
up.
live.
That's another
We'll do it
hour
live.
on Brock and Salk.
I know the paint's barely dry on the new Super Bowl champ Seahawks gear, but can you believe Mariners pitchers and catchers have already reported and spring training is underway?
Holy catfish, that was fast. They know from day one of spring training, they have a chance to win the whole thing.
Follow how the 2026 Mariners come together at seattlesports.com. We're the home of your American League West champion Mariners.
Holy smokes!
Seattle Sports.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Perungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all three like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit advancedhair.com.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
At Les Schwab, we've been changing the tire game for more than 70 years. We design our own exclusive tires to give you more tires made for the roads you drive, less compromise. All backed by America's best tire warranty included in every tire we sell. It's more unbeatable tire warranty, less charging you extra, like the other guys. It's all about you getting more from less. Stop by or book an appointment at leschwab.com.
Experience a luxury resort, breathtaking wildlife, spectacular wilderness, and amazing fishing at Queen Charlotte Lodge in northern British Columbia. King salmon runs are at their peak in May and June, and halibut and lingcod are always plentiful. Check out how easy it is to visit QCL at fishqcl.com. That's fishqcl.com. Queen Charlotte Lodge. Experience fishing first class. And remember, our dollar's worth $1.35 north of the border.
Good Dog Auto Glass. When your windshield breaks, the national brands say their fix is safe, but the quality is light. Instead, trust Good Dog Auto Glass for the best in quality auto glass.
Don't let the insurance company bully you. When you call, we answer the phone. Visit us online and get more bang for your buck.
If you actually are the person that will take care of them after the fact, if you actually will be there for them, if you will pick up your phone, then they come back to you.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
I've always wanted to learn French, but the app I tried didn't help.
If you want to memorize words in another language, there's an app for that. But if you want to really learn another language, there's Babbel. Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different. Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Babbel feels like it was created intentionally by people who really know what you need to learn another language. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Want to really learn another language? Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to save up to 50%. Babbel.com.
I'm Bradley Johnson with 1-800-DUI-AWAY. We now have over 500 five-star online reviews. Bradley Johnson helped me out of a very difficult situation. Their professionalism and knowledge resulted in an outcome I wouldn't have thought possible. They were steady and reassuring, taking time to explain things clearly. They never rushed me, even when I had a million questions. In the end, they found a resolution I'm grateful for. They were a pleasure to work with. I was impressed with their knowledge and skill, ultimately winning my case. 10 out of 10. I would highly recommend. Call 1-800-DUI-AWAY or Google us to schedule your free private consultation. 5 stars means achieving your best possible outcome. 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
1-800-DUI-AWAY. Home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest. This is the power of 12 is 1, man.
KIRO AM Seattle and KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma.
This hour is brought to you by Davis Law Group.
Give me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Ewert is my hero.
Jay Buhner just punched me in the kidney.
We're going to accuse you of manager.
Doesn't really work that way, Sherm. This is a show that has my name on it.
It kind of does, though.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Ewert and Mike Salk.
It's been a fun show today, Brock, but I got to tell you, the one big takeaway I have is I want to know where there's a $900,000 house for sale in Wallingford. Where's that, Brady?
What's your takeaway?
That was my big takeaway. Brady knows of a $900,000 house for sale in Wallingford? Clue me in, man. Let's go.
My takeaway the first 3 hours is?
That's the worst takeaway ever. Let's do some late version of Blue 88.
This is Brock and Salk's Blue 88, powered by Xfinity.
We're going to go red, right, tight, close, sprint left, G, U corner, halfback, flat, on one. Ready?
Brock Ewert tackles 3 football questions as only he can.
Blue 88.
Now here's your hosts, Brock Ewert and Mike Salk.
All right, Brock, let's start here. The Seahawks should be influential now, right? They've won, and they've done it their way. Mel Kiper is already starting to think about the draft, so what will teams learn from the Seahawks? What do you think?
Yeah, I like this cut. I tend to agree with that. I'll give you a little detail on the other end of it. Here was Mel Kiper to ESPN about, we know this is a league that likes to follow others and what they're doing well. Here was Mel Kiper.
Well, I think, and just to go to Seattle, Rich, how about Nick Emanwari? Right. John Schneider gets him in the early second. You're at the Combine, right? Didn't Emanwari have an unbelievable Combine? He on the heels of a really good year. Yep. So you got the production, the performance, the tape, and the great. He went in the second round, Rich. So this notion that if you're great at the Combine, you had a heck of a year, you're going to get this big bump up. Nick Emanwari went in the second round, and he was a key guy on the defense side, one of the best defensive rookies in the league. So for me, hey, the Combine, Jacob Parrish dropped to the third round. He had a great Combine out of Kansas State, went in the third round to Tampa Bay, great year. Kyle Hamilton didn't run great, dropped to 14. So I always say there's nothing automatic about good or bad at the Combine pro days. Like I say, nothing you can mark down and say this is going to happen based on that because we get surprises every year.
But here is what's going to happen with Kyle Hamilton and Nick Emanwari. Somebody in that kind of frame, that kind of body, that kind of positionless versatility is going to be elevated. Mm-hmm. And that somebody is going to be Toledo safety with the last name McNeil Warren. And reaching out to Daniel Jeremiah, just kind of said, hey, DJs, you're doing all your studying. Is there any Nick Emanwari comp? And he said the only comp is this kid, and he doesn't run like Nick Emanwari. He just doesn't have that closing speed, but somebody's going to look at the length and look at the aggression and look at the football IQ. And I have seen mocked to the Rams, which would kind of make the most sense, or the Niners, or somebody that has faced Nick Emenwari twice in the division and seen the difference that guy's made, or somebody in the NFC North, right, who's seen the difference Kyle Hamilton makes when he's on and off the field. There's just not many Kyle Hamiltons, not many Nick Emenwaris walking the earth, but the safety McNeil Warren out of Toledo will be a guy you're going to hear an awful lot about in the months ahead.
All right, question number 2. Well, with all this conversation about Ken Walker and Zach Charbonnet and kind of what they did this year, Brock, what do you look at to figure out what that will look like moving forward?
Yeah, I saw this most incredible stat. Let me put my Ebenezer's on here and pull it up for you. So I couldn't really believe this when I read it, but then I'm like, no, I think that is true. Do you realize, and this is Mookie Alexander out there on Twitter. I don't know if that's a real count or if that's a Dov Kleiman account, but anyhow.
No, Mookie's been around for a while.
Mooky's been around a while. K9 and Zach Charbonnet have combined for how many fumbles in their 1,333 career rushing attempts as Seahawks?
Jeez, I'm trying to think of any.
1,333 career rushing attempps. How many fumbles and how many lost fumbles between those two guys?
I'm going to guess 2 fumbles, none lost. 1 lost.
One fumble, 0 lost.
Wow. Yeah, I couldn't think of any.
Isn't that truly remarkable?
Yeah, it
you
is.
Talk about job security is ball security. Ball security is job security. You're talking about the ball, and how important that is. And you can look at the turnover ratio and everything for the Seahawks this year. That was a lot more Sam, we know that, than it was anybody else. That is, I could not believe that number. Over 1,300 rushing attempts. Hyper focus on it, very, very good at it, and no lost
What's
fumble.
the guy's name? That is such an underrated, important stat for running backs.
Yes, it is.
Remember we were talking about Antoine Smith the other day?
Because Saquon will fumble, and fella down there in Atlanta fumbled against the Seahawks, I think, in both games the last
What's the
2
guy's
years.
name? You're going to remember his name. We were talking about Antoine Smith the other day, right? Who played for the Patriots in 2001, 2, that era, and never fumbled. I mean, he was not the world's greatest running back, but he never fumbled. He was replaced in Buffalo by a guy with crazy skill who fumbled all the time.
Travis Henry?
Yes. Thank you.
Boom.
Trying to remember the name.
Yep.
Travis Henry. And I always remember thinking, yeah, cool. You can pick up a couple extra yards, but you give the ball away so often that it's not worth
on
it.
a lost possession versus the number of yards and all, the debit that is.
Right.
It's just
you just can't afford it.
Kneecapping is that you just can't do it.
You just can't.
And those two guys over
That's
4
pretty cool.
years have been unbelievable.
Very cool. All right, question number 3. Rashid Shaheed. Brady mentioned him as sort of the other big conversation right now. What's the big decision he'll have to make, Brock?
You want to play for a winner? You want to play for a loser? You've been around it, and what is that valuation? So here is Rashid Shaheed actually with the NFL Insiders talking about the Seahawks and him and his agency actually having conversations.
Absolutely, yeah. Conversations are definitely going to be heating up, definitely towards March. But I would love to come back. I love my experience here. I'm loving the Pacific Northwest, and obviously the organization is second to none. And I kind of want to run it back. We just won a Super Bowl, so why not?
Some positives there. Organization. I mean, he's bought into the dialect near the Canadian border, number 1. Number 2, he did love it here. He said that from day one. He wants to be here. Is this going to just come down to flat? We know it is. I mean, it's going to be flat out guaranteed money. And how much money will the Raiders be willing to throw, or New England? These teams that have an immense amount of cap space that know the impact he has as a runner, as a special teamer, as a receiver. And then he's going to have to make a decision. This is a guy that played at Weber State under the radar, went undrafted, spent 3 years in New Orleans losing, right, playing for a bad organization, and then got to taste the fruits of, wow, this is unbelievable. And I know it's not like this everywhere else. But what is that value? What's that dollars and cents? How big is that delta going to be? that will be for Mr. Shahid to decide.
All right, good stuff. That is today's version of Blue 88 206. Yes, Salk, it's 800 square feet with black mold. 360 says that house is actually a shed behind Dick's Burgers. Salk, it's a $900,000 half-bedroom, 120 square foot shed with a hole in the ground in the backyard for potty duty. Yeah, all right. Well, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
By the way, you mentioned Mel Kiper during that segment. Is he doing all right these days? Is he recovered from Shador falling all the way to the 5th round in the draft?
Don't take shots. Don't take shots of poor.
That was
He's the
That was a
godfather
hard watch last year. That was a hard watch.
Maybe he recovered once he was rightfully named a Pro Bowler.
Yeah, I mean the guy is a Pro Bowler.
You think Mel's going to say that on the set this year? Well, you should do a Pro Bowler.
Yeah, I hope he does.
Yes.
Shador's number retired.
I hope he does. That would be awesome. That would be talk about commitment to the bit. Lyle, you like a good commitment to the bit. That would be the ultimate version of commitment to the bit.
Do you want a quick old story, by the way, since we've been in the Wayback Machine a little bit today? Do you know one of the meanest things Molly ever did to me? Not the prank she played on me in college where I turned around and went way, way, way over the top. We were early newlyweds. We actually drove by 12 Central Square the other day, right there by the Bellevue Mall. That was our first apartment when we got drafted to the Seahawks. And speaking of squawk, she put this little noisemaker that sounded like a bird, and she hid it like underneath one of the bedroom drawers or bedroom, the thing that has drawers. And she's like,
the bureau.
She's like, I think there's an animal in the apartment. I'm like, what? No animal. She's like, I think there is. And this stupid thing was squawk. Like, what is it? We have a bird in our bedroom. And I'm like searching for this thing. And I went and got a broomstick and I'm crawling around on the floor like Rambo. I think I even put a headband on.
Wow.
First blood that I'm going to take care of it. I'm the protector of this. And just a little,
That doesn't
toy
sound like a mean
recording of
prank. That
bird
sounds like
chirp.
something you enjoyed.
Well, kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was like a prank / gift for Brock. It was a little of both.
I kind of maybe enjoyed it. You know what? More 20 years later, maybe I
Maybe that's what's going on in your neighbor's house now, Brock, and why all the birds seem to be coming in there. Maybe they got a similar type of deal
you see
going
all those
on.
holes in the molding? Did you see that on the way out?
All right, we are going to give you guys everything you need to know next. And then my friend Brock Heward is, now he's an influencer, basically. That's all coming up on Brock and Salk.
Pretty much.
Bump and Stacy.
The NBA plans to announce that they're forming a committee to determine whether or not they're open to announcing it.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
Give Seattle a team. There's a lot of public outcry, including outside of Seattle. People see that as an injustice.
I'm just no longer feeding into just the chase. I'm just going to sit patiently and just wait for this thing to go down. I'm not going to stress over it. It's going to happen.
Only on Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, Brock Heward here. People come first. PCF Construction Group, where you, the people, really do come first. And we know spring and summer right around the corner. And if you haven't called my friends at PCF about getting started on your new deck, well, now is the time. And with a patio cover, a heater, a fireplace from PCF, like they built for us years ago, you can enjoy your outdoor deck or patio no matter how much sleet, rain, hail, cold, whatever comes along with Mother Nature. And right now, you can get up to $6,000 off your entire project. That's right, up to $6,000 off your entire project with no payments and no interest until 2027. Save an additional $1,500 when you bundle your deck and patio cover like we did. Contact PCF for all the details and start your planning and your designing of your dream deck now so you're ready to build by the spring. Planning permits can take a little time, so please don't wait. Get started today. Get project ideas, browse photos, and find all the offer details at PCFgroup.com. That's PCFgroup.com, making your outdoor space with people come first.
Hey Hawk fans, Jake Bobo. Stormy weather is here. How's your roof holding up? Give Techline Roofing a call. With the strongest warranty in the business, Techline has you covered. That's Tekline, roofing.com. Trust Techline.
Hey everyone, Rick Witters, owner of Cressy Door. At Cressy Door, we offer top-of-the-line garage doors, garage door service, and garage door repairs. From everyone here at Cressy Door, congratulations to the Hawks for winning the big game.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You can swirl it, you can sip it, but the best way is to share it. Hey y'all, I'm Deanna, a team member at my local Chick-fil-A. And a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich and new frosted sodas and floats is how well they go together. You get that bold flavor of the Coke mixed with the smooth deliciousness of the vanilla ice cream. You have a juicy filet and a smooth, creamy float. It's an awesome pairing.
Order a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich and a new frosted soda and float at your local Chick-fil-A restaurant. Real team member paid for their testimonial.
Do you like helping others? Become a Shiva volunteer. In Skagit County, join the hundreds of volunteers across Washington state who help over 90,000 people each year with their Medicare options and questions. You don't have to know Medicare. We'll teach you. And if you're bilingual, even better. For more information and how to apply, call Shiva at 1-800-562-6900 or go to insurance.wa.gov.
Sponsored by the Office of the Insurance Commissioner and aired by the Washington State Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Need a break from everything? Escape to a place where anything is possible and the fun never stops. At Silver Reef Casino Resort, you'll discover world-class dining, championship caliber golf, a full sports book and bar, over 1,000 top-rated slots and table games, and so much more. Come join the fun and see why we've been consistently rated one of the region's top destinations. Visit silverreefcasino.com to book your stay and discover all the exciting events and promotions we have in store for you. Silver Reef Casino Resort, located off I-5, exit 260.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Ready to free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business empowers leaders with smart business buying tools, leaving time to focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future at AmazonBusiness.com.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-290-7100. That's 800-290-7100.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Well, the big story in town is that the Seahawks are now officially for sale. This was, not unexpected, obviously, but you got $10 billion laying around. If so, maybe you want to buy the Seahawks. I don't think it's going to get to 10, as Adam Schefter suggested, but 7.5, 7, 8, maybe even a little bit more than that. That does not seem unreasonable. Ever. Yeah, it's going to set a record, as the NFL usually does when one of its teams comes up for sale, especially in a market like this one and coming off the Super Bowl.
What did the Lakers get to? The Lakers got to $10 billion, right?
Did they? God, I don't remember.
Okay.
I'm not sure I remember that one. Andrew Brandt was on yesterday with Wyman and Bob. Of course, he is a sports business expert, formerly an agent, former executive. He's been in the league for a long time.
I don't know if it's something where they look at sort of personalities or names or anything like that. I think just in my discussions with the NFL over the years, I think some of that's overblown. I think they look for someone like anyone would that just has incredibly substantial resources because they're going to be a partner. And when you look for a partner in business, you want to know that they've got a backstop that is unbelievably stable. And I don't think there'll be a shortage of those people.
No, there aren't, and we've already talked about some of those names this year, but I keep coming back to this, Brock. I played this a week ago. I've played it for you in the past. It's from the show Billions, and I think it is just the perfect way of describing, especially the way the NFL treats its club. It is, as they say here, how you knight people in the United States.
The NFL is turning you down. I asked for the favor of telling you myself.
They're really going to walk away from the highest bid?
Sports franchises are how we knight people in this country. And you're not royalty. You're a robber baron.
It's pretty good.
It's better even if you understand the character and know acts and know the whole story, but I do think that there's a lot of truth to that. And the writer of that, Andrew Ross Sorkin, is pretty well tapped into what's going on in that world. He's written a lot of books about it. You'll see him on TV. I do think that's a pretty accurate description of what the NFL is all about. Now, does that mean they're going to, on principle, turn down the highest bid? No. This is about money, and it's about money that goes to charity, and I think that's going to be a big part of the way this is set up. But as for whether or not they care about the future of the Seattle Seahawks winning, I don't think they do.
So one thing that comes to my mind, and we haven't said this in the previous couple Need to Knows, and just, I don't know, maybe it was that cut, or maybe it was talking to Tod Leiweke in the first part of the show today, and knowing the NFL's desire to make this a global game, and that every team eventually, I think by 2029, is going to play an international game every single year when the schedule stretches to 18. I wonder if foreign money is going to be something in this process that they would like to see to further that reach.
Between that and private equity, like all of these conversations become big. The one thing we do know, they're not going anywhere. We asked Tod Leiweke what the chances were of a new owner moving the team.
No, and if people need things to worry about, just jump online and get your head wrapped around real issues. That there is no possibility. The family has left this team in brilliant shape. And they did it in partnership with the citizens. The stadium is spectacular. It's been well maintained. It's been well cared for. The franchise has incredible following, not just here in Seattle, but across the world. This is a team that has a global following. It is at no risk of leaving.
It is at no risk of leaving, he says, just as his phone comes back.
Mark Walter, $10 billion for those Lakers.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. Pretty impressive.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Mark Walter also owns the Dodgers and the entire PWHL league. His Dodgers are going to be at the center point of a lot of the conversation regarding next year and a potential for a work stoppage. And the union yesterday named its successor to Tony Clark. It is Bruce Meyer, who was previously their number 2.
We've been preparing for bargaining for years. Players have been preparing. Players know what's coming. At the end of the day, leadership is important, and leadership comes and goes, but what remains is the players. At the end of the day, it's the players who determine the direction of the union. At the end of the day, it's the players who determine our priorities in bargaining. Those priorities obviously have not changed and will not change. At the end of the day, our union is strong and always has been strong because of the solidarity of our members, of our players. That is going to continue. And as I've said in the past in different contexts, anybody who underestimates the strength and solidarity of the MLB Players Association does so at their peril.
Their peril, Brock. You like the use of the word peril?
I like the word peril, like prowess. Yeah, I do like the veracity.
Hey, tomorrow I'm going to end up talking more baseball, but since we're doing just a little of it here, this was Josh Naylor. I gave you this long spiel yesterday all about draft, develop, trade, and retain and the importance of what that does for your culture. Listen to the opposite of it. Listen to Josh Naylor here talking about what things were like for them in Cleveland where they don't retain.
Yeah, in Cleveland, I think a lot of us knew we were eventually going to get shipped out. We would have conversations in the locker room about hopefully we get traded to the same team. because I think we all kind of felt like we were going to go eventually. And then now with that other question, it's kind of nice to know where you're going to be after the next 5 years, know where you can raise your family.
He goes on from there, but you get the idea. That is a big difference.
Being used. Not just being used. We're just a commodity being used. And you can win that way. And, people have. Can you win championships? Can you endure? Can you sustain? Can you build a civic bond like these Mariners and these Seahawks and this community has? Harder to do.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Let's see. Hockey at the Olympics. It's going to be U.S. and Canada, we think, eventually, but they're going to have to get through semifinal matches after both being taken to overtime in the quarterfinals. U.S. ends up beating Sweden 2-1. The Canadians beat Czechia 4-3 and lose Sidney Crosby. We'll see if he's able to return here at some point. So semifinal matches tomorrow. It will be U.S. and Slovakia, Canada, and Finland. Meanwhile, the U.S. women take on Canada in the gold medal match today, just after 10 a.m., so that's coming up soon. They should be heavily favored after blowing the doors off of Canada when they met earlier in pool play. I mean, they really, really beat them badly. I watched that game.
Hey, Salk.
They couldn't get out of their own zone.
The Russians beat the Americans 10-3.
I know.
20-3 in Madison Square Garden 2 weeks before that game.
Yep.
Don't you give me what happened in the past.
Okay. Well, we'll see what happens today. That's everything you need to know. Quarter past every hour. Absolutely. Hey, look, the Canadians could, I'm sure they're going to be out for some level of revenge after that. Just watching them, though, it was not like they couldn't get out of their own zone. I mean, they just looked completely overmatched. So hopefully the U.S. takes care of business today. They are certainly the better team. And if that is what prevails, that'll be another gold medal for Hillary Knight.
Team's going to watch it together?
I think some of them are, yeah. I think getting 12-year-olds up for a 10 a.m. game could be a challenge. Some of them will need to be woken up for this. But, yeah, I think a bunch of them are going to get together and watch the women play. There's so many torn players that are involved in this game. So Hillary Knight will be there. Alex Carpenter will be there. Julia Gosling plays for Canada. Hannah Bilka plays for the U.S. Michaela Barnes plays for the. So
are you showing off?
I'm not showing off.
I ain't going to showing off.
What do you mean?
Pick up those names.
I'm not picking up the names. I don't know any of them. That's just who plays for the team. I'm a fan of the team. I enjoy watching them.
Feels like you're showing off.
Oh, stop it. How dare you? Well, Brock, you're showing off. You're the new influencer these days, and we'll discuss it next on Brock and Salk.
I know the paint's barely dry on the new Super Bowl champ Seahawks gear, but can you believe Mariners pitchers and catchers have already reported and spring training is underway?
Holy catfish, that was fast.
They know from day one of spring training, they have a chance to win the whole thing.
Follow how the 2026 Mariners come together at seattlesports.com. We're the home of your American League West champion Mariners.
Holy smokes!
Seattle Sports.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
At Bible Law Group, we understand what it means to be local legal representation. From shopping at the Bon Marché, picking up gear at Chubby and Tubby, crying for Joey Cora, now for Cal, grabbing a burger while JP Patches clowns by. We live here and fight for you. That's why Bible Law gives local representation to those facing legal problems too big for prayers, even if you can't pronounce Squim or Puyallup. Our legal team has secured more than $40 million in settlements for our clients. We're ready to fight for you. Find us online at BibleLawGroup.com.
Hey Hawk fans, Jake Bobo. Stormy weather is here. How's your roof holding up? Give Techline Roofing a call. With the strongest warranty in the business, Techline has you covered. That's Tekline, roofing.com. Trust Techline.
Hey everyone, Rick Witters, owner of Cressy Door. At Cressy Door, we offer top-of-the-line garage doors, garage door service, and garage door repairs. From everyone here at Cressy Door, congratulations to the Hawks for winning the big game.
After years of football and the injuries that go with it, my first thought was always go get surgery. Hey, it's Dave Wyman, but after a consultation with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine, my eyes were open to an alternative to surgery, and I'm talking about stem cell therapy. Well, and my buddy and co-host Bob Stelton, also in pain, and decided to go see Dr. Wagner.
I had a hip issue from 14 years of jiu-jitsu.
How's the pain now?
Everything I did before, I can do just as well. Hitting the heavy bag, sparring, rolling, all of that is back in play. This whole thing has been such a pleasant surprise because I really was of the mindset, I'm going to have to go under the knife. I'm going to have to get surgery. And this really saved me from that. I could not be happier with the results.
Whether it's a hip like Bob had, a shoulder, a knee, a wrist, an ankle, before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine.
Do it. You will not regret it.
Hey, get the facts, hear from all the patients I've talked to, and schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Do you like helping others? Become a Shiva volunteer in Whatcom County. Join the hundreds of volunteers across Washington State who help over 90,000 people each year with their Medicare options and questions. You don't have to know Medicare. We'll teach you. And if you're bilingual, even better. For more information and how to apply, call Shiva at 1-800-562-6900 or go to insurance.wa.gov.
Sponsored by the Office of the Insurance Commissioner and aired by the Washington State Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Don't miss the John Schneider Show, presented by Silver City Brewery.
I truly believe defense wins championships.
Thursdays at 4, only on Seattle Sports.
Good Dog Auto Glass. When the stakes are high, you want the best on your team. When your windshield breaks, don't settle for your insurance company's fix that's just safe enough. Trust Good Dog Auto Glass, where the quality isn't light. We do all the things the little guys don't, and we do all the things the big guy does.
We answer the phone when you call. We work for you, and we will walk you through the insurance process. Visit GoodDogAutoGlass.com, Puget Sound's most trusted auto glass company, and get more bang for your bark.
Dave Matthews Band is coming to the Gorge Amphitheater. Friday, September 4th with Stephen Wilson Jr. and Infinity Song. Saturday, September 5th with Watch House and Jonah Kagan. And Sunday, September 6th with Jesse Wells and Sierra Hall. On sale this Friday at 10 a.m. at LiveNation.com. Don't miss Dave Matthews Band Live. Produced by Live Nation.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home for you so you attract the right buyers. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, so two things, Brock. I know you're not going to be in tomorrow, so I want to make sure I get you on both of these things. My only challenge is I was really hoping to talk a little bit more baseball today. It hasn't really worked out that way because of the Seahawks stuff, and we had Tod Leiweke on earlier, and I really recommend going back and watching or listening to that interview if you can. A tremendous, tremendous job paying homage to and honoring the legacy of the Allen family, first Paul and then Jody, and Todd was so close to all of it. It has such an interesting perspective on it. I recommend going back and listening to it. It was great. And then also just, really explaining what will happen next and how this process goes and what we should be looking for here in Seattle. So,
and can we just put a cherry on top of that? Because as news moves and everything unfolds and we're going to be at spring training, can we just kind of put one last little stamp on what the Allens did? And likewise, we go way back. I sat in a suite in the Kingdom with Damon when he was on that beat, and Mike Flood and the rest of the Save the Seahawks, and doing the tour across the state to really create interest and understand what was at stake. And that was in the mid 90s, like 96, 97, when Damon was out of football in 96. So this is 30 years. And man, listening to Tod and the case that he makes.
Yeah. Here, let me play a little bit of it, Brock. Here you go.
Well, that word gets used, stewards, but I think it was no more true than with their leadership, their ownership, and their ultimate stewardship of the franchise. When I went to work there, you hear, stories, and it sounds more like folklore, but the story that the team actually moved to Southern California was real. And of all things, the current team president, the great Chuck Arnold, was asked to lead that. Gary Wright tells stories of butcher block paper on the windows of their offices in Kirkland. And it was really Paul's courage. Lots of people weighed in. Ultimately, the citizens voted, but it was his courage at that point in time that saved the Seahawks. And, would they have come back? I don't know, because you would have not only had to reacquire a team and pay all of that money, you would have still had to have built the stadium. But he had the courage to say, look, I'm willing to step out.
And look at owners. Look at bad owners. We talk about them all the time in the NFL. Look at them. Look at what they've done in their communities and the lack thereof. Teams that haven't even been to a Super Bowl. And this team built a world-class facility. This team's been to 4 Super Bowls. We've gotten 2 parades. And without the Allen family, this would not happen. And then on top of it, and what really is the fairy tale story of it, Salk, and the ultimate, I would think you, of anybody, would be screaming from the rooftops when you're talking about stewards of the civic responsibility, now pouring back those proceeds, not into their pockets.
Tremendous.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It really is truly remarkable. And, I think Tod painted that picture as well as anybody could, and go back and listen to that if you missed it.
All right, so good stuff there, and you can find that on the Seattle Sports app or our YouTube page or wherever you want to go to find some of the stuff we've done earlier today. Brock, you became a big influencer yesterday, I guess, when you forwarded this daily ranker.
I quoted it. Please get it right. I didn't forward anything.
You quote tweeted this daily ranker that G had sent us from Fox Sports, which lists the top 10 Seahawks of all time. Now, we've talked a little bit about clickbait today, and anybody who is out there trying to tell you that the Seahawks are a threat to leave, that's clickbait, so just remember that. Is this clickbait? Top 10 Seahawks of all time, according to Fox Sports. In order, number 1, Russell Wilson. Number 2, Steve Largent. Number 3, Walter Jones. 4, Bobby Wagner. 5, Sean Alexander. 6, Cortez Kennedy. 7, Sherm. 8, Kenny Easley. 9, Marshawn. 10, Sam Darnold. With honorable mentions for Earl Thomas, Cam Chancellor, Tyler Lockett, Matt Hasselbeck, and Steve Hutchinson. What do you make of the list?
I think it's ludicrous.
Which part?
And, I tried to, in my influence, Salk, and 1.6 million people have seen my influence.
Okay.
I tried to be the cool kid and said, who wants to tell them? It's the cool kids like to say those things and call them out.
So which part are you referring to?
Russell Wilson, number 1. Are we out of our freaking minds? Get out of here. It's ludicrous. He wasn't even the best quarterback in his era. He never has been. He was a great facilitator. He was a wizard. You built, and I was right alongside the house of Wilsonism, and we loved it. But we watched the destruction and the decay, and then we watched him napalm the bridge and a bunch of them afterwards. Russell Wilson is not the greatest Seahawk of all time. Walter Jones is the greatest Seahawk of all time. He was arguably the best at the position, one of the most difficult positions in NFL history to ever play the game. And that's not Russell, and that's not even close. So please just stop right there. And then you can go on, and Steve Largent is going to be ahead of Russell Wilson. They're in the Hall of Fame. Not the Hall of Very Good. They're in the Hall of Fame. I don't know if Russell's going to get to the Hall of Fame now because he's so, I think, self-sabotaged. The end of his ending here in Seattle and certainly with 3 other NFL organizations. So, that was it was emotional. It was purposeful.
Apparently.
It was influencing.
If Russell Wilson had not thrown an interception on that play and they had won that game.
He'd thrown it down and away at the kneecap, and Ricardo was able to go down and catch it and throw a touchdown, and he was the MVP, and they're 2-time Super Bowl champs.
He's number 1 on this list.
Probably.
Really?
He's much more in that conversation.
He wins 2 Super Bowls? He's as the quarterback?
I mean, the only
throwing the game-winning touchdown in that moment?
The only years it was really his team, and he was the driving point of the team. They won a playoff game against 40-year-old Josh McCown and the Eagles. That was it.
I got to tell you, I think if Russ throws a touchdown there and they win, he's number one on this list.
They may win a third one. They may keep the band together.
Yeah.
It may never have disintegrated the way that it did after that moment, unfortunately, because he would have delivered. He would, it would have been, should have handed to Marshawn, and
but it worked.
An MVP, and
you can't criticize it when it works. It might have still blown up eventually because the tempers and the pay and everything else would eventually have become a problem. But man, I don't know. I don't know. I was not nearly as offended by this as you guys were. I'm not saying it's right. I don't think I have Russell Wilson at number one. I didn't watch Walter Jones as closely as you did, so I guess so I don't.
I played with.
I know
Walter
that.
Jones. I was in the huddle. I bled sweat.
I'm not knocking Walter Jones as being number one.
He mentioned my name in his Hall of Fame speech, and he didn't have to.
I think if you had asked me from afar. And now having been here for the last 17 years, who should be number one on this list? I think I still probably would have said Steve Largent. I think that's still probably, like, when I think of the Seahawks,
right.
I think I still kind of think of Steve Largent.
Well, he was the first, and there's always same thing with winning the Super Bowl.
I don't know, that one sure would have been probably number one for me. But I'm not mad at Russell Wilson at number one. I mean, I was actually a little surprised. Sean Alexander at number 5 stands out to me.
High too.
That feels pretty high.
He's got to be closer to like 10.
And then I know that Kenny Easley is a really big, important name here in Seattle. Honestly, growing up 3,000 miles away, I'd never heard of him. So I that's not a shot at him. It's just giving you a perspective from another part of the country.
And he and Cam, unfortunately, careers cut short by.
But how is he 8th and Cam is an honorable mention? I'm sorry, Cam belongs on this list. That kind of upsets me. Matt Hasselbeck, I think, belongs on this list. And then it's funny seeing Sam Darnold there. I can't, argue about it. Like, the dude just won him a Super Bowl. Who was a greater if it ends today, who was a greater Seahawks, Sam Darnold or Matt Hasselbeck?
Well, Hasselbeck for 10-plus
But
years.
that's my point.
It's apples and oranges.
And Hasselbeck is on this honorable mention list.
Yeah.
Where Sam Darnold is number 10. And I'm not saying that Sam shouldn't eventually be there.
I think even Sam would say, you know what?
Feels a little rich right now.
Yeah, this is a little much.
Doesn't it?
This is a little.
I mean,
if you're going to put me on this list, you could put Devin Witherspoon or Leonard Williams.
Well, obviously, Russell Wilson is going to be in your top 10. Right?
Yes, 100%.
And Largent and Jones and Wagner and even Sean Alexander is probably going to be top 10, right?
Yeah.
Sherm, top 10. Yep. Kenny Easley, I think, is probably, for me, out of the top 10. Marshawn's top 10. Sam Darnold, I think, would be out of the top 10. And the two I would add back in would be Matt Hasselbeck and Cam Chancellor, with, honestly, Earl Thomas probably being 11th.
Okay, so coincidentally, we can get back to this in a minute if you want. I made my own list before you guys sent this.
Oh, cool. Your own top 10?
My own top 10.
All right, let me hear it.
Well, I sent it to
Look at Lyle. Hey, look at Lyle. Puts your data together the other night. He puts his own top 10 list together. Okay, Lyle.
Let's go.
I do want you to know that he scoffed at your homework of coming up with the open for this, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, he wasn't going to do that.
Said no.
I don't know. I saw the list, and I was talking about it with a couple of my friends.
All right, let's hear
I made
it.
my own. I made Walter Jones as one, like Brock said. And honestly, I debated between him and Bobby Wagner. I could have put Bobby at 1. I put Bobby at 2. And said, I mean, the man was making all-pro after all-pro after all-pro. So he was...
I think it's a reasonable case.
Steve Largent, I put at 3. Sherm, I put at 4. Earl, I put at 5. I mean, he's in my top 10, no doubt.
Okay.
Russ is 6. Cortez is 7. Kenny Easley's 8. Cam's 9. And then 10, choose your fighter between Marshawn or Sean Alexander. I'll listen to either one.
Yeah, Marshawn's got to be on that list.
Yeah.
He's got to be on that list.
I don't hate your list, Lyle.
Yep.
I don't hate your list at all. I think it's a pretty good list. I don't mind Bobby being that high. I think it's a pretty good list. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah. I mean, again, if you want to put Marshawn at 10, go put him at 10. I just felt a little weird.
But Russell at 1 is absurd. It's patently absurd.
It's not patently absurd. It's wrong.
No, it's patently
it's
absurd.
wrong. But look, I don't see it that way, Brock. I'm with you that it's wrong. I don't think it's patently absurd that the quarterback of the big era of Seahawks football came a play away. And honestly, that's why it's wrong, because of that pick, he can't be number 1. He just can't be. And because of what transpired afterwards, I'm with you. He can't be number one.
No.
But it didn't, offend me to that point where I was like, oh, my God, this is such garbage.
It offended Wendy, the
though,
Wendy
that
lady.
He became kind of a cancer there?
Yeah. I mean, Wendy, the Wendy lady is really mad about this list. Even she is like, that's
Is she?
not right.
She's upset.
Yeah. She's not happy about it at all.
Yeah.
No, it's just a popularity. It's so easy. Even you saying that, well, he's a quarterback of this team. Yeah, but he wasn't the best player, not even close on that
I think
team.
I tend
Bobby
to
was
agree
better
with you.
than him, and Sherman was better than him at their position. They were
But
all
so were
pros
Cam
at
and
that
Earl.
position.
I kind of like Lyle's list. I'm not mad at the list with Bobby, Sherm, and Earl all in the top 5. Where was Cam on your list?
He was 9.
9?
Yeah.
Now, the Cam versus Earl debate is a good one that will probably exist forever.
Yes.
I don't know where I would come down. I think I would put Cam ahead of Earl, but again, that's one of those debates where I'm not mad at the person who disagrees with me and thinks it's Earl instead of Cam. But Cam was such who's such the leader of that group, the respect that they all have for him, the personality, the way that they fed off of his hard hits. I don't know.
You know what's going to be remarkable? Where this
Cam in
becomes real, by the way, and not just some clickbait like debate and everything. You know where this becomes very real for this organization? Who do you put in the Ring of Honor first? And how does that whole process work itself out? Sherm, Earl, Cam, Russ, Bobby, Marshawn.
You know what would be hilarious? Put them all in at once, together as one thing. Don't even give them their own. Just call it the LOB.
Whose name's first?
Just call it LOB. You know who should be first? Honestly, if it's Ring of Honor, first should be Marshawn.
Ahead of Bobby?
Yeah, because Bobby's just retiring now. I mean,
like 10-time All-Pro?
But yeah, because he played so much longer.
Put Marshawn in first?
I think so. I think so. I think so, but yeah, these things are. This is a bit of a challenge. There's no doubt. There's a bit of a challenge. All right.
Well, that leads to a perfect segue.
I want to hear what happened to you yesterday. You've been talking about this.
Yes. So yesterday, show ends, and once a week, I build my little cave in my basement. And I built. It's hilarious. I should film this. I'm going to film. I'm gonna have Molly film me doing this because it takes me back to being like 7 and 8 when I used to make forts in the house with blankets and everything else and tunnels and had so much fun. I build my Madden fort here with moving blankets, 2x4s, and all this other stuff, and their microphones and all the things. So once a week, a couple hours a day, we tape. Kate and I get on and keep updating and putting hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of sound into the Madden game. So when the next game comes out, the 27, there's way more depth to our detail, right, in our conversations. So about near the end of the session, when my beta waves are totally cooked, and I'm just like, I said, hey, do me a favor for a little segment tomorrow on my show. Tell me which Seahawk, from your guys' perspective, scriptwriter Dan, you're up in Pittsburgh. Right, Luke, you're down in the studio there in Orlando. You're the audio producer. Tommy, you're the overall whole producer at EA Sports. And Kate, who does preseason Seahawk and is a huge fan. Answer me this question. Okay. Which Seahawk player, coach, whatever way you want to take it, improved their Q rating the most in this run to the Super Bowl and this victory? I'd love to know from each of your perspectives who you think improved their Q rating, their popularity the most. This was amazing. So, scriptwriter Dan, really smart guy, early 30s. Josh Jobe. What?
That can't be real.
That's 100% real. Josh Jobe.
Well, that's just being a hipster and trying to outthink the room. I mean, that's just dumb. Josh Jobe improved his Q rating the most.
Saw him in Philly. Didn't think he could play. Okay. To me, he represents Seahawks.
Where is he? Where is scriptwriter Dan?
Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
Pittsburgh
right.
Guy.
Okay.
Pittsburgh guy.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I discount that.
Okay. Tommy, really, you want to talk about a football aficionado now. Oh, this is pretty good, actually. His answer is pretty good. Makes sense. Ernest Jones.
Okay.
He said Ernest Jones improved his Q rating the most.
Probably more with the parade and the cursing and all of that. I mean, he just kind of made himself a bit of a household
I think
name
the
in
mic'd
that
up.
way.
I think the playoffs. I think the whole thing. I think
For
the
Q
edge.
rating, yes. Yeah, that makes sense.
So he goes Ernest. If you thought the Josh Jobe was a deep cut,
come on,
sound editor, you'll really like this one, and it plays into this, and it actually makes your point. He's like, Marshawn Lynch. I said, Marshawn didn't play for the Seahawks anymore. He's like, I don't care. I think Marshawn Lynch, you saw him in the commercials. You see him around the team. I think Marshawn improved his Q rating the most.
Okay. Whatever. Okay.
Doesn't this speak to it once again, what you and I spend our whole life doing and thinking people know the Seahawks? I just was kind of chuckling.
All right. Josh Jobe, Ernest Jones, and Marshawn Lynch.
Yep.
Okay.
So it gets instructive in its own fill in the blank insanity. And then Kate was like, come on, boys. I love Kate, by the way. She is
I
so
assume she
fun
said
to
Mike
work with.
McDonald.
Mike McDonald.
Yeah, okay.
And not even close.
Yeah.
There's one answer to this.
Yeah.
It's Mike McDonald.
Of course.
She's like, people didn't even know him. You could do the man on the streets as Kyle Brandt did. And, there's people didn't even know his story.
Right.
And by the end of it, he's heralded as the greatest defensive signal caller in Super Bowl history. And, oh, by the way, his wife loves him. And, oh, by the way, he's, got shirts printed out with "We did not care." Oh, by the way, his vulnerability, his transparency, his leadership, all of these things have come to the forefront.
No, that's the right answer. But if you have to discount him because it's a coach as opposed to a player,
yeah,
I mean,
then it's slinging Sammy Darnold, right?
Probably. Although people knew who Sam was, I think he just sort of changed the perception.
Devin Witherspoon heading into next year.
I would think Devin Witherspoon should be on the list. I would think Byron Murphy should be on the list. Derek Hall maybe could be on the list. Ken Walker was the MVP after.
Yep.
Man, we were getting texts from people at the beginning of this year in the NFL. I don't mean like just fans. I mean like people in the NFL saying the Seahawks are going to trade Ken Walker midseason.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end of the year, he's the Super Bowl MVP, and there's some people around who want to make sure you bring him back at all costs. Yeah. So I would say Ken Walker certainly did that as well. And, Brock, he's got people talking about him. Like, it was not that long ago that nobody was talking about Ken Walker other than Mora. And now there are other people talking about him. Let me play you some Craig Carton. I don't know if you've heard any of this, but this was former WFAN host Craig Carton.
The story out of Seattle is that they're going to let Kenny Walker become a free agent? Yeah. So the Super Bowl MVP, who is I think he's on the right side of 30 still, right? Yes. You're just going to let that dude walk? Now, I know you got Charbonnet, whatever his name is. Yeah. Now, he got hurt, so he didn't play in the Super Bowl. But how, and I'm not saying you give Kenny Walker, $20 million a year, but Kenny Walker is a top 3-4 worst case scenario running back in the NFL. Why are we letting Kenny Walker walk out the door?
It's Kenny now.
And by the way, that's a throwback to Kenny Skywalker, isn't it?
Yeah, I think
New York,
so.
Isn't that a New York
I
thing
would
there?
assume, yes.
I would think so.
Kenny
Kinda
Skywalker,
has
the basketball player.
Well, yeah, I could see that point of view nationally. Like, hey, man, didn't you learn anything from Hard Knocks? Didn't you learn anything from Joe Shane? Didn't you learn anything from Saquon Barkley leaving the building in New York and becoming nearly an MVP there in Philadelphia and helping them win a Super Bowl? Didn't you learn anything?
Well, I'm not going to use this to in any way give Craig Carton credit for the take, other than to say that he now knows who Ken Walker is.
Kenny Skywalker.
or Kenny. I'd be willing to bet 5 weeks ago he had no idea who that was.
That's right.
Right? So in that regard, I guess I would say he must have improved his Q rating because now Craig Carton and people like that know who he is. But the Josh Jobe one is surprising.
I did say to Dan, come on.
Come on. That's a dumb answer. That really is. That's a dumb answer.
Do you know what Q rating is? You're a really smart guy.
Right.
Really bright guy.
That's the word. It's hard to think of a word. I thought, honestly, when you said it, I was thinking Josh Jones for a moment, which would have been equally as absurd. That's such a bad answer to that question where you're like, huh? The what now?
I hope Dan's listening right now. I said I was going to do this as a segment on the show. I hope Danny's
Well, I hope I don't meet Dan because I'm honestly horrified by his answer. Ernest Jones, good answer. It's wrong, but it's a good answer. And I think Ernest did a lot to kind of show who, what his personality is and the whole parade element of it. Good on Ernest. I think
do you know what it's like to be a Steeler fan for Dan? Pirates?
I mean, whatever. I don't care. I mean, like, that's what he gets for being a Steeler fan. Rooting for Ben Roethlisberger, rooting for Aaron Rodgers. Like, you deserve whatever you get. I think that A.J. Barner, I thought, made a pretty good attempt to improve the Q rating during the parade and kind of be a guy that people noticed and kind of latched onto a little bit. And we'll see what looks.
Nicky Manwari, I think, over the course of the playoffs and it's a championship game.
Yeah, the way Brady talked about him on national TV. Like, I think that would probably deserves a mention. But no, the answer is Mike McDonald, Sam Darnold, and a couple other guys, and also Josh Jobe, of course. Josh Jobe,
of course.
Josh Jobe. I can't, Brock. That is.
I know.
I really almost wish you hadn't told me, because it's sort of like breaking my brain a little bit here to even think about something so ridiculous. So.
Fun stuff. So will the U.S. women and the Canadian women in about 10 minutes or so as they
about 20
fight for gold.
Yeah.
Oh, it is 20 minutes.
Yeah, I
Okay.
got time to get home and watch
good.
that. Looking forward to it and seeing.
Good.
Can you remember all the
And then
names of
next
those
time the
torn
whole
players
gang's
who we're going to be
together.
playing, Brock?
The next time the whole gang is together, Salky, we're going to be down in Peoria, Arizona.
Ooh, that's true.
Getting to see Ricky for the final spring training of Ricky Riz. He'll sail off into the sunset after this season. We're going to appreciate every day with him. It's going to be in the 80s. If y'all want to come join us, it's easy to get down there.
I actually got a lot of people coming down that are going to pop by this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, you're kind of a big deal.
No, friends of the kids and who are going to be down there. And then I think I'm going to get to introduce you to Von
Is
Roden.
Perry going to do the two-man luge again with your dad?
I hope so.
Showing him how to do the ground balls.
He didn't do it with his dad. He did it with a child.
I know. Yeah, he did that with Joel's
that
kid,
sounds-
Jackson.
I,
better
for
if
one,
it's
am excited
Larry.
to see Tucker.
As you should be.
Oh, Tucker looks like he's really grown. He's doing rolls and paw lifting. And
Yep.
He looks like he's connecting
trained.
with people.
He's
Yeah.
trained up for this year. He's gearing up for a World Series run. There's no doubt. So, yeah. And, Brocky, you're going to get to meet Von Roden, which I'm excited about. The hockey coach guy I've told you about.
Oh, that's right. The fireball.
I'm excited for you two to meet. That should be entertaining. All right, we got to get out of here. Shannon will join us from Peoria, I think, tomorrow. Hopefully, G. Scott as well. Brock, enjoy your day. We'll see you Monday down in Peoria.
Well.
And, yeah, until then, you know where the hay is?
Oh, it is in the bar.
Sure is. See you, everybody.
Get to the chopper!